Jackie?
Dr. Kia Preet, shining wisdom's light, teaching soul tribe how to see through the night. Ancient scriptures and bloodlines she knows, spreading truth wherever she goes. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Through her channel, knowledge flows, breaking chains that hold us close, teaching paths to abundance and wealth, guiding others to free themselves. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way.
Keep checking in, family. A few more minutes.
From currencies to investments divine, she's helping her tribe to realign with wisdom, ancient and new, showing what we all can do. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia lights the way to a new and brighter day.
All right, Soul Tribe. It is so good to see everybody check in. I'm going to give you a little more time to check in, family. I'm so happy to see you all. It is Friday evening, okay? Friday, December the 19th, 2025, and the time is 8:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. How many more days before Christmas? I think 6 more days. So happy holiday season to you all. I don't know if you celebrate Christmas, but if you do, Merry Christmas. Happy winter solstice. Happy Hanukkah. What else? There's another festival. There's one for the African American community, but I don't keep it. But what is it? It's a festival of lights. If you guys, Kwanzaa, if you remember the name of it, I was going to say, let me know. Happy Kwanzaa, family. This is a wonderful time of the year. It is winter. It is cuffing season, okay? Couple season. And by spring, we'll see what you all been doing in the winter time, getting cuffed up, okay? I am so excited. Get your hot chocolate, your mocha. I don't know. I have here my peppermint tea because we are going to spill the tea on what's been going on with our children and what we can do to create the most amazing, beautiful leaders in our new reality. Come on, family, come on in the room. I am going to introduce our speaker in just a minute, or our special guest. But before I do, thank you all so much for listening to our podcast on yesterday with Dexter Lattimore, who is an economist, an entrepreneur, a financial strategist, and a musician, as he talked about the collapse of the United States Incorporated and the United States dollar, what that means for us in America and in the world, how to prepare, and how when you prepare, you can prosper. Plan, prepare, prosper. Okay. So I know a lot of people are concerned about the collapse. So many people are worried about the financial markets collapsing, the United States dollar collapsing, but the old system has to systematically be destroyed. And that has to happen in order for a new reality to emerge. So it'll happen little by little, and then all at once. Keep checking in, family. I see about 80 people in the room. We're going to start when we get to 100. So we had that podcast on yesterday and many others leading up to that podcast talking about investing in our future. And today we're again going to talk about another way to invest in our future. Before we do, I just want to give a shout out to all the people who have supported the Dr. Kia Pruitt Show financially. As you check in, thank you so much, Andrea McLean, who says this is a donation. That is a beautiful donation. I appreciate you for donating to the Dr. Kia Pruitt Show. Sister Yolanda, I appreciate you. She says, hello, and thank you for all that you do. It is my great pleasure to serve you, family. The soul family from all over the world. Who else? FRB Supreme Magnetar. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. He says, this is for Ancient Majestic Transmission. I'm honored. Thank you. Beautiful Max Ministry, our Chief Mac, always in the house celebrating us and supporting Dr. Kia Pruitt and the Dr. Kia Pruitt Show. He sent 2 donations yesterday. Thank you, Chief Mac. I appreciate you. Henry Parker says, thank you, beloved one. Oh, I appreciate you, Brother Henry. Sister Juanita sent a Cash App gift as well. I appreciate you. Dina Richardson, Keziah sent transmission, sent a blessing. Linda sent a blessing. Beautiful Max Ministry, Chief Mac. Eddie, thank you so much. Simply Love says, thank you for all that you do. I appreciate you. You're welcome. We almost have 100 people, and then we're going to go on and introduce our guests. Ishmael says thank you. Tony says thank you. Dina sends a Cash App blessings, and a Jacob as well. I appreciate you. It is my honor and my great pleasure to present any information and guests and research that will help us prepare for the new golden reality into which we're going. So happy Friday, family. Today, we are going to bring on a special guest. Her name is DeSarah Lattimore. DeSarah Lattimore is an educator, a psychologist, an artist, and an entrepreneur, as well as a mother, whose work centers on helping children unlock confidence, creativity, and self-expression. With a background in psychology and a master's degree in healthcare management, DeSarah blends evidence-based understanding of human development and real-world classroom experience to help young people thrive, not just survive, but thrive academically, emotionally, and socially. She is the founder of Mosaic Monarch, a therapeutic and educational art initiative designed to support children, as well as adults and individuals with developmental disabilities through creative expression. Ms. Lattimore's mission is to make art and education accessible, meaningful, and transformative whenever possible and wherever people are. Ms. Lattimore speaks from lived experiences as both a teacher and a parent, and practical tools for raising emotionally intelligent, curious, and self-directed learning. Her voice is reacted and rooted in deep empathy, creativity, and a passion for helping families see the brilliance in every child. She currently lives here in Jacksonville, Florida, with her son and her family. So DeSara Lattimore is not only an educator, an artist, an entrepreneur, and a psychologist, but she is a chess master. She doesn't like saying that, but she's very good at chess. She was also a debate person or debate scholar in her college career, and she won numerous accolades, numerous awards being a debate person that traveled all over the country. She's not only traveled in the country, but she is traveled a worldwide traveler where she's learned experiences and gained experiences of how to understand children, their developmental needs, and how to nurture them so that they can become brilliant scholars. Now, why is she focused not only on those with disability, but on those that are gifted? Is because it is her nature to nurture children where they are and help them realize their potential. Ms. Lattimore was also mentored by Ambassador Atayla. I think her name is Atayla Shabazz. That's Malcolm X's oldest daughter. Just like Dexter Lattimore was mentored by Mrs. or Ambassador Shabazz, Malcolm X's oldest daughter, so was DeSara Lattimore. So she's met many chiefs and many queen mothers on the continent of Africa. She's worked with some of them. She's worked with leaders all over the country as it relates to debating and trying to figure out the best recourse for our children. What is the best thing and what are the best methods we can use for children? So, you know, on the Dr. Kia Pruitt show, we often talk about investments, right? We talk about investments in precious metals, silver, gold, palladium, copper. We talk about investments in land and other hard assets. We talk about investing in foreign currencies. But when do we talk about investing in our most important asset, our most important commodity, that being our children? Our children are the future. They're the future doctors. They're the future nurses, herbalists, psychologists, counselors, ministers, engineers, practitioners, lawyers, judges. They are our future, period. Our future gardeners, our future engineers and architects. Our children are the future. Our children are our wealth. And that's why we're bringing on Miss Lattimore today. Now, this is not just a story of how somebody came to, figure out what is best for our children. But this is an amazing story of how to raise brilliant star seeds. When Miss Lattimore was expecting her child, her son spoke to her from the womb. She had a dream. She's going to talk to us about that today. She had a dream where her son came to her and said, "My name is Amin Ra." He told her not only what her name was, what it meant, and told her what his mission would be when she birthed him. Because of that, she started talking to him in the womb. She started singing to him in the womb and teaching him in the womb. She was amazed and overjoyed by the visitation of her son in the womb, in dreams and visions. So Miss Lattimore began to do all these things until she brought forth a gifted, advanced child. That's how he was actually categorized when he came out. A gifted child. Not only a gifted child, but he learned to talk early. He learned to walk early. And as he was talking to his mom, as a baby, started talking to her about his former life, his psychic abilities, and his mission. So she made sure that from the womb and even after she birthed him, and even on the birthing table, he was surrounded by loving people, loving energies, loving colors, loving plants, and the colors that resonated with his name, and even loving educational books and tools that would nurture him. Miss Lattimore understood his personality, and she knew she had to educate him according to his personality. She made sure of this. So in this podcast, Miss Lattimore, as an educator and a psychologist, will share how to protect, nurture, and invest in our most precious commodity, our children. She believes that our children are our future, and our children are our most important, precious asset. Family, help me welcome none other than Miss Sarah Elaine Lattimore. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you. That was a great introduction. Thank you so much, Mom.
You're welcome. And she is my daughter. She said, Mom, I wasn't going to give it away so soon.
Sorry.
It's okay. Isn't she but beautiful?
Thank you.
Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? So, this Sarah,
Yes.
you're a psychologist.
I do have a
And
degree in psychology.
you have
Yes.
a degree in psychology.
Yes.
You're an educator.
Yes. I have
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm
Go
a
ahead.
certified. I am a certified teacher. Yes.
Okay. And you're an artist.
Yes.
Okay. What made you the type of woman, let's talk about you as a mother, that was so intentional in raising your son?
Um, well, probably my foundation
Okay.
was created with intention. I know that motherhood requires intentionality because you were intentional in your raising in with raising me. So that's where it began for me.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Um, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to know what you're gonna say.
So yeah, what do you mean by intentional? Like how was I intentional? And then talk about what that meant for you being a mother.
I think the thing that I remember you being most intentional about in raising me in particular was education. You stressed education and the importance of getting and being educated and having knowledge to the proper knowledge and tools to navigate the world.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I remember in terms of intentionality, I would actually volunteer in the schools, make sure you all were eating well. I would eat lunch sometimes in your schools. Uh, I would sometimes volunteer with the teachers, and I would show up unannounced sometimes. Do you remember what that felt like?
Yes. It didn't really bother me though.
No, but you were very active actually, and you were a leader. Even I remember in elementary school. You remember that? And some teachers didn't understand that you were a leader. They didn't understand that you once you got finished with your work that it was important to you to help other students. But you had one teacher in particular who understood you. You remember her?
You're probably talking about my fifth grade teacher, Miss Lott.
Miss Lott, yes. Yes. She said that Sarah helps people. She finishes her work early and she walks around helping people. And a lot of teachers don't understand that she can't sit in her seat and just watch people struggle academically, you know. And so I would show up thinking, oh, is she talking too much? What's going on? What's going on? But no, you would just be thriving, you know, just walking around helping with classes, showing people how to understand the work from their perspective. So I was very intentional in that I volunteered in your schools, but I also knew all the people in your school. Did that bother you? Like I knew the teachers, the principal, the assistant principal, the counselors, the janitors. What did you think about that?
That did not bother me. Actually, I appreciated it. Um, it was a bit peculiar because I ended up going to a school with the principal having the same last name as me. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people thought, a lot of teachers thought that I was related to him, and I might have been. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I did use that to my benefit sometimes,
Uh-huh.
but people felt teachers and administrators felt like they had to take care of me because my mom would make sure of it or she would be
Mhm.
right there and or the principal because we had a good relationship with him just by the nature of sharing the same last name.
Mhm.
um, they thought that just even the idea of people knowing that you have somebody in your corner or somebody who's
Mhm.
going to show up for you, that really it really shapes the way that they present themselves to you and that they
Mhm.
communicate and interact with you. So it was really I think it was a good thing and it had positive benefits.
Okay. And so, because I was intentional with you all, I also would look at what you're good at and try to guide you in the direction, certain directions, by making sure you went to certain summer programs.
Yes, yes, I remember Healthwise and the pre-med programs, yes.
And some of the things you were good at, and some of the things that I was trying to guide you, in certain directions. I made sure you had those experiences in summer programs. I made sure you had some academic enrichment programs. And I was just very active, even after school, sitting down with some of the some of my children that had issues, that had problems. Remember that one song I used to sing with David? You're going to get, you remember that one?
And A?
Yeah, remember that song? You're going to get an A. All right, you're going to get it. And I made us dance around and sing the song. A, all right, we're going to get an A. And we started dancing and clapping.
And surely enough.
He got an A. So I was intentional in your education, and then you became an intentional woman, an intentional mother, an intentional leader, psychologist, educator. So tell us about your experience with intentionality.
Um, my experience with intentionality. So when I was pregnant with my son, I heard this song. My little brother, I went to my little brother's his concert. He was in a choir, and I heard this song for the first time. And I'm sure everybody knows the song "Mary, Did You Know." Mary, did you know your baby? Well,
What
Mary,
are the
did you know?
words? Mary, did you know your
It's
baby's meant?
basically saying that, like, did you know you had your child is special? Your Mary, who was carrying Jesus.
Okay.
So when I heard that song, it just I think that's when everything clicked to me, and I was like,
Hmm.
I felt like like the song was resonating with me and with my spirit. Like, did you know that you're carrying something that is so just so great that I don't know that it requires a song. I don't know,
Mm.
but
Mm.
that people are going to be speaking about it for years to come, and the impact that your child is going to have. And that's when I became intentional, and I was like, I'm carrying something precious.
Mm.
So that I was by then I had already had the dream. Should I tell about the
Yeah,
dream?
please talk about the dream.
So when I was pregnant with my son, I hadn't chosen a name or anything. I had some things that I had picked out that I was like, maybe this or maybe that, but I want to be able to see him first so that I can get a name, give him a name that fits. Well, when I was pregnant, I had a lot of crazy dreams. Really, 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 really vivid dreams. They weren't
Mhm.
all crazy, but they were very vivid.
Okay.
This particular dream, I was in a hut, and I had a basket of vegetables and
Mhm.
maybe I think corn. And
Mhm.
I saw some young man. He was like 19 maybe, and he's running up and down these pyramids. And he comes down and he gives me like a basket more of food to cook. And I had like a fire going, and it was just it was
Wow.
kind of it wasn't it was I felt like a gatherer or something. I didn't feel like it was in modern times. And the young man, he just kept coming to me and talking to me, and I was just smiling. I was like, "Who are you? What is your name?" And he's like, "Mom, it's me, Amin Ra." And so he told me that his name is Amin Ra, and we sat down and we had conversations about it. And I don't remember all of the conversations, but
Mhm.
that is when I decided to give my son the name that he had chosen for himself.
Mhm. So speaking of names, what do you think about the names of children? You know, how intentional should we be with naming our children?
Um, I think naming your children, it has a great impact on their identity and how they view themselves in this world. So for me, I know that a lot of people it becomes sometimes a contentious point because a lot of people are confused. Like, why would you give your son a God name, a name
Mhm.
that is shared with an Egyptian? an ancient Egyptian god. One, he, and to me, in my opinion, he chose his name and told me who he was. But also, I want him to associate himself with greatness. And so
Mhm.
I believe that if we intentionally, on purpose, we're thinking about our children's future, and we're thinking, who do I want this child to be?
Hmm.
How do I want this child to view themselves, and to show up to the world? I
Hmm.
think the beginning of that is their name, the baseline of everybody's identity.
Hmm. Yeah, I know when we were thinking about your name, of course, Dad said all his children their name had to start with a D, and the middle name had to be E. So I already knew I had to work within that framework. But as I was thinking about a name, I thought, okay, for some reason, I always knew I would only have one daughter. I didn't know why and how I knew that, but I said she's going to be a princess, and that's what your name means, princess. So I was very intentional on naming you Sarah. Sarah means princess, but it had to be D. And I was like, wow, the Sarah. That's beautiful. It has a ring. I haven't heard that name before. It means princess and starts with a D. Perfect. So I was intentional as well with your name. Hmm.
And I can agree with that. I think it was very intentional and very creative. I think that did shape my identity. It does shape my identity, and also in a lot of ways, like it depends. You can choose your perspective. You can choose, as you know, to view the glass half full or half empty. Like, you got to give your child a name that you expect them to get a job with, or you can have a name like mine and become an entrepreneur. So
Mm,
I do have a
yes.
unique name. So I think that when people come across my name, they're like, "Well, what is that?" I
Mm,
know this because they tell me this.
mm,
But I have a name that I believe that is so unique that it forces me to be unique, and it forces
mm,
me to find my own way in the world, a unique lane. And so
mm,
that's what I've been doing for myself, is just being true to me, to who I am.
mm, mhm. So I was saying to the audience that we always talk about the investing in foreign currencies, gold and other precious metals, land and other assets, but we kind of glaze over or completely overlook the importance in investing in our child.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts about investing in children?
I think our children, like you said, children are our greatest assets because they are our future.
Mm,
And I think in terms of investing in our children, I would say, wait, hold on.
yeah.
I was, I'm sorry.
Your thoughts on investing in our children. What does that mean to you?
Well, first of all, we have to consider our children. We also have to consider ourselves. Like, the way
Mm,
that we show up for our children is probably going to dictate the way they show up for us. So if you invest in your children in the front end, then
mm,
your children are going to invest in you in the long term. So, like, eventually we're going to need somebody to take care of us, to lean on, just like our children
mm,
needed to lean on us.
mm,
So if you show your child that they matter, that you care about them, that everything, that the world revolves around them, and in terms of your
mm,
world revolves around them to a great extent, not entirely, of course,
mhm,
but then they will understand the importance of showing up for people, but especially for you.
mm. Now, your child, Amin Ra, has been labeled as gifted and advanced. In fact, he has advanced several grades. He advanced two times, 2 grades, and they would like to advance him more, but it's not permissible in the Duval County school system. He is 8 and he is in the 5th grade, but he's operating way past the 5th grade level.
Mhm.
Um, what type of things did you do when he was in the womb and when he was a small child for him?
So with my son, yes, he is 8. He's in the 5th grade. He will be going into the 6th grade as an 8-year-old, because he did
Mm,
skip 2 grades. He also started a year early.
okay.
So, well, I'll start with what type of things did I do. the
Mhm,
types of things
mhm,
that I did from the very beginning. I'm listening to, oh, that's my
mhm.
boy. That's my baby. I'm listening. I'm listening to classical music in the womb just
Mm,
because I've heard that it was helpful.
mhm,
While he's in
mhm,
the womb, I'm playing classical music for him. I'm speaking to him. I'm communicating with him. It's actually
mhm,
funny because the records of me giving birth to him, in those documents, the doctors are explaining that they requested. They requested a hearing test. Like for
mm,
babies, they do a hearing test just to make sure your baby can hear. And I was like, no, he doesn't need a hearing test. I know very well that he can hear because he responds to his name. By that time,
mm.
by before I gave birth to him, he was responding in the womb to his name.
Woo.
So that's what I mean in terms of being intentional. You want to make sure that you're going out of your way to give your child the information and the
Mm,
knowledge that they need and the nurturing and the care and love that they need. And I believe that it goes a long way, and I'm a testament to that. Outside of the womb, now
mm,
I was told because I was like, oh, I'm going crazy. He's, I was so excited. I was like, I'm just going to see what I can do. People were like, you okay? Well, give it some time, let him breathe before you go crazy and give him all this information. But
mm,
I gave him about 3 days and to get adjusted to the world. And then I
mm,
came with the flashcards. One thing I highly recommend
mm,
are flashcards. I gave him flashcards, numbers,
mm,
letters, and sight words, colors and
mm.
shapes as well.
Okay.
I think these things are very, very, very important. And one thing to note is that you can give children toys, and that's good to have playtime, but it's also good to have enrichment time, time
Mm,
that is only dedicated towards learning. And it's also good to incorporate this into everything that you're doing. For example, when my son was crying and I would be rocking him, I'm A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I'm just using every opportunity as a teaching
mm,
moment. I learned the sign language or A, B, C, D, E. I learned how
mm,
to do that so that I could teach him. And
mm,
one thing that you're going to learn is you're going to be spending a lot of time with your child. So you're going to want to figure out things to do. So if you have flashcards, that's one hour that you don't really have to consider. That you are all you're doing is
mm,
A, B, C, just showing the child, and they're just absorbing everything. So if they're absorbing things, you get to control. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of it. You get to control what your child absorbs. You are the conscious voice that forms in their head.
mm,
So you get to choose who your child is going to be. I mean, obviously, your child will choose for themselves, but you get to give them the foundation that they need in their most formidable years.
mm. So you were singing to him, you were showing him flashcards, you were reading to him as
Yes,
well.
yes.
Yes. How old was he when he started reading?
When he started reading full sentences, he was 3.
Okay. Wow.
When he but they were short sentences like I am cool or something like that.
Mm,
But when he was able to read just individual words, like short words, like 3-letter words, he was 2.
mhm,
Maybe later on in the age of 2, like maybe like I don't know, just he was 2, but he
mm.
was almost 3. By the time he was 4, he was reading
He
novels.
was reading novels, he sure was.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's because of your intentionality.
Thank you.
Now, you're welcome. In terms of his age, what do you think as a psychologist about starting so early to educate your child?
I personally think that's the way to go because your child is going to get educated. It's about what
Mm,
education they're getting. So you
mm,
control that education, and then you get to, mold who your child or the type of child that you have or the type of human
mm.
that is coming up into the world.
And you were talking to me earlier about the formidable years of the child, how they are impressionable, and you were telling me that particular age. You said that this is their formidable years, and we should be spending time with them because their personality is being shaped. What was the age? Their
Now,
formidable years.
one thing that I've noticed, just growing, is that the age kind of changes based on different studies, but a lot of psychologists agree that the most formidable years are 1 through 5 at least. So they'll say some have said 1 through 3, 1 through 5, 1 through 7, even I've heard. But I think personally that 1 through 3 matters the most
Mm,
because that's when the slate is the blankest.
mm,
So they are a blank slate, so they can learn anything, and they're learning everything. Like I said, everything around them is something that they're learning.
mm,
So it just is best to give them the tools, to give them the proper tools. And
mm,
another thing I had to consider is I want my child to be able to speak for himself. I want
mm,
him to be able to say, "Mom, I like this," or "Mom, I don't like this," or "Mom, I need this," or "I'm uncomfortable." Comfortable. This learn teaching your children how to read early. Reading is the
mm,
key. Reading is the main thing that your child needs to learn how to do. And teaching your child how to read early gives them the tools to be able to communicate their feelings. My son did not, I didn't experience a terrible 2 stage. I didn't
mm,
experience that with my son because by
mm.
the age of 2, he was able to communicate with me what was going on with him.
Wow. Wow. So in their formidable years, not only are you educating them actively, but talk about the other things you're doing to educate them, like the colors you surround them with, the music, the people. Why were you so intentional about that as he was growing up?
Um, it's really the same thing. It's just that if I don't control or not, I want to say that word kind of lightly or with a grain of salt, because if I don't have some type of handle on or management or something on the way that the things that go into my child's psyche, then I might lose control over my child.
Mm-hmm.
Or my child might lose control because it might be more than they can handle. I know what my child can handle, and when he grows up and becomes, an adult, then he'll know what he can handle for himself. And honestly, at this point, he knows what he can handle. He makes decisions that inspire me. But yes, so I do intentionally put him around people that I know can help shape him in positive ways. His godfather, for example, is a doctor now. He's a great man. I don't want to say his name because just because I didn't talk to him about it, but he's a great man. His godmother is a great woman. He's surrounded by great people. His grandmother, he loves his granny. I had to move back back home because my son back to the same city because my son loves his granny, and there's nothing that can keep him from his granny. And but I value that. I value that. I value the
Mhm.
sense of community. I value the people
Mhm.
that I do have around him.
Mhm.
I value it, and I think that that's going to help him to grow. Everything shapes your child.
Mhm.
Everything that your child is exposed to shapes your child. So you do have to monitor and make sure that you're
Mhm.
aware of and in control of what shapes your child.
Speaking of control, you grew up as an educator in the school system dealing with children K through 12, right? Kindergarten to 12. And I did some education there, but most of my time was spent in higher education. When you are an educator, a lot of people talk about helicopter parents. They'll say, "Oh, stay away from helicopter parents. They are cause so much trouble. They're so stressful. They hover over teachers. They hover over administrators. They hover over everything their child does." And it makes some parents feel like they can't be as active in their children's lives. What do you say to people who are afraid of being termed a helicopter parent if they're very heavily involved in their child's life?
At the end of the day, that's your child. At the end of the day, you know what's best for your child,
Mm,
and I love a helicopter parent, and a lot of the teachers that I worked with, we love them because at this stage, and I think it's probably a little bit different in grade school than higher
Mhm,
education, because
mhm,
at this stage in life, in this day and age for these children, a lot of them are lost, and a lot of parents are
mhm,
so overworked or so
mhm.
drained or just disconnected that they're not involved at all in their child's education. And we're like, where are can a helicopter parent will probably be a relief to some of us at this point.
Okay.
But what I would say is just do what you know is best for your
Mm,
child and best for
mm,
your child's future. It's all about the future, and you always have to start
mm,
now. You
mm,
could it's all you always should start yesterday, but
mm,
starting now is obviously the most practical and
mm.
possible thing to do.
Now I want to ask you about colors. You're an artist, and I'm going to ask you to show some of your art pieces a little later. The color blue was so important to you with and it just so happens that's my favorite color. We bond over that. What made you choose blue? Did you choose it? Do you feel like he chose it, a higher power? Like what made you choose blue? And I think it was gold or those type of colors to surround him with.
So it wasn't my decision. It wasn't necessarily something that he chose for himself. It was the color blue and gold were the colors that were associated with his name. Oh, lapis lazuli
Uh-huh.
is the color that's associated with his name. So
Okay.
I that's why I emphasize those colors.
Speaking of lapis lazuli and the colors, what was it? Was it blue and gold? Are those the
Mhm.
colors, the main colors?
Yes.
I have a picture of you. If I can find it, I'll look for it. Of you at your baby shower. You were wearing blue. Was that the
Yes.
lapis
That
lazuli?
yes, that was intentional. I did create his baby or plan his baby shower based the color scheme based off of his name.
Hmm. So I'm going to show here a picture of you at your baby shower wearing the color lapis lazuli or blue. And this is actually Ambassador Shabazz, Malcolm X's eldest daughter, with you. She
Yeah.
was there
Yes.
representing. She's a very important, critical person in our family. So that's you with this, with the color, everything here. And why did you put little prints on this cake? You were so intentional about so many things.
Yes, I was. And I just really try to surround my son with goodness and positivity. When he first came out, the only thing I did was gave him affirmations. I was tired. I was
Mhm,
doped up on whatever they gave me. But I just kept saying, "You're great, you're wonderful, you are all
mhm,
things powerful, you are mighty." I just wanted to
mhm,
instill greatness in him, confidence.
mhm,
So along the same line of thinking, that's why I put Little Prince on there, and I didn't tell anybody what his name was
mhm,
until after he was born. So that way people know how to address him.
mhm.
Other people know to address him properly, with respect.
That's right. And this person here, he's a good friend of the family. He's a singer, a beautiful singer. He was singing to explain what was happening here in this picture. This is such a beautiful picture of the two of you.
Yeah, that's one of my brother's best friends. We were doing an activity where you try to figure out how many pieces of toilet paper can go around the pregnant belly, and he
Mhm.
picked the right number, and somebody just captured that picture perfectly.
It is perfect. Wow. And what's your relationship with Malcolm X's eldest daughter? Because I remember her coming to the baby shower. We would have some events together. She came to your house to eat on a few occasions. It was wonderful for me. What was that like for you?
It was phenomenal. She leads a great legacy. She's a part of a great legacy. So just being around her was incredible. I don't
Mhm.
really know how to explain the experience. I was starstruck. I felt like I was a part of I was a little part of a movement, but she, yes, really great company. She
Mhm.
came to support, and to bring the bringing of our son or my son into the world. And
Mhm.
I really appreciate her for that. I appreciate all the support she's given me and my friend, my son, and my family. So
Mhm.
if ever she's out there watching, thank you so much, Ambassador Shabazz.
And she is the ambassador to what country is that now?
Bailey's, I
Oh,
believe.
Belize. Yes, it's Belize. So now we talked about the colors. Talk a little bit about the food. You were intentional about his food, his diet. First of all, tell me why, and then just anything else you want to say about that.
So I do want my son to in the very since from the very beginning, I want him to choose who he is. I just want to be able to shape that and to provide guidelines. However, so I yes, I was intentional about what went into his body. After I stopped breastfeeding, I was like, what am I going to feed him now? And I'm like, I don't want to feed him anything that's dead because that will
Mm,
promote death in his body. I want to feed him things that are living to promote life in his body. And just based off of some things that I had learned in college, I'd learned that like we take on the characteristics of what you are. What you eat is a good way to explain it, or to, I guess, to sum it up. But you take on the characteristics or traits of the things that you ingest in your body. And
mm,
so if you're ingesting substances that are alive, then you're going
mm,
to help promote life in your body, and it's going to give you energy and lasting energy. If
mm,
you're promoting death in your body, then you're probably intaking things that are dead. That's not to say that you cannot be healthy if you're eating flesh, or if you eat
mhm.
meat, because I eat meat, but my son does not. And so I did intentionally want to give him that option. So by the time he was 3, um, I offered him a piece of fish,
Mhm.
and I was a pescatarian at the time. So, but we also owned a fish, and so
A
when I
sweet
offered him,
Bluey.
yes, Bluey. When I offered him the fish, oh my gosh, he was so devastated, and I
Mm,
didn't even realize what I was doing. I mean, I didn't even realize what the issue was. But he's like, "Why would I eat a fish? We have a fish. Why would I eat him?" And so, from that was the last time that no,
mm,
it wasn't the last time. I've offered him just to see, like, do you want to try, some
mhm,
meat? And he chooses not to. In fact, he has gone to the extent of becoming, maybe about a year or two ago, he
mhm,
became a vegan, and
mhm.
he won't eat meat, he won't eat milk, he won't anything dairy. He also won't eat high fructose corn syrup, anything that has high fructose corn syrup. Honestly, it's
Okay.
beautiful, it's a beautiful thing. But something that I do want to say is it's not easy. It is a
It's
challenge for him.
not easy. Wait,
It is a
hold on.
challenge.
Of course, he wants to.
Hey, big boy.
Hi.
We're
How
talking
are
about
you?
you. Okay, mommy's talking. See you later. Okay.
Um, what was I saying?
So yeah, he won't eat high fructose corn syrup, and he reads the ingredients of every. I didn't teach him that.
Yeah, no, just one day I was putting stuff in the cart, and he just picked them up and started reading the ingredients and putting them back on the shelf. And I was really amazed and proud. But
Mhm,
it's something that I have to accommodate him, and
mhm,
it is a challenge sometimes, because I'm like, well, what am I going to feed you? Because I
mhm,
can't take you to fast food. I have to cook
mhm,
everything. I have to cook.
mhm,
I have to feed him, all of his meals, so I have to prepare them. So, like,
mhm,
some of the teachers will be like, well, why is he late? He comes right on the bell. Well, I have to prepare. I have to fix him breakfast and prepare him lunch and prepare his snack, and so
mhm.
it's a little more challenging for me, but it's worth it for him to be who he knows that he truly is, and be true to himself.
Mhm. Speaking of being who he is and you raising him according to his personality, there's a scripture that says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he would not depart from it. I heard another psychologist say, train up a child in the way he should go actually means, it's transliterated, train up a child according to his bend or according to his personality. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. What are your thoughts about that?
I think I think that's accurate. I mean, I think that makes perfect sense to me because everybody's not the same.
Mhm.
And my son, he's different. I've raised children. I've raised great children. All the children that I've raised, I
Talk
believe
about some
to
of the
be
ones you've
amazing.
raised. Yeah.
Um, but so, what do you say?
I said, go ahead. And now I want you to talk about how you help raise other children.
Oh, so yes. So he's unique from even the other children that I've raised, and they're
Mhm.
unique from each other. So
Mhm.
I think there's a lot to gather from that, a lot of
Mhm.
knowledge and
Mhm.
information to, I guess, internalize with that or use because you do have to choose. I mean, you do have to raise your children based on who they are and acknowledge and affirm them and be mindful and patient. Patience
Mhm.
is the number one thing that I would say every parent needs to have is patience.
Okay. Okay.
Um, Patience and self like composure.
Mm.
Because like I said, it is difficult. And me personally, I'm a single mother.
Mhm.
So all of these things are things that I have to figure out myself while figuring out other things. So if I were to, I'm sorry. Oh, so
Oh, women trying to get my attention. Go ahead.
if I were to give a recommendation and for someone who's planning on having children, I would say unless you're very wealthy or rich and you can afford for other people to take care of your child, I would say to help you take care of your child, I would say to try to plan that within a two-parent home, just so that you have some reprieve and that child has different perspectives, but also different outlets for expression, safety, anything,
Mhm.
everything that a child needs.
So
And
you go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You raised Almond, but you also raised your brothers. Four of your helped to raise. You were like primarily responsible for your four of your younger brothers because dad was sick. Your dad was ill, and we were taking
Yeah.
care of dad and the children. So you had a lot of experience raising children, and they all had different personalities. How were you able to navigate four children? You were pregnant at the time, and then when he came, is five. Like, how were you able to navigate that and all the other things you had to do as a mom and a woman?
Patience
Okay.
and community. You have to use whatever resources you have when you're raising children.
Mm,
Fortunately, I wasn't raising them completely alone. I did like they were living with me, and I did have take on a lot of that responsibility. But I also did have community. So when I did need some reprieve, I was able to get that. And that's the point that I'm making is don't try to do it alone unless you're rich, or you have everything completely. I just don't recommend it because
mm,
it's not easy. It's not
mm,
easy, but it is something that I am proud of. I'm
mm,
not saying that I'm proud of doing it alone, but I'm proud of what I was able to do, considering that
mm.
I've done it primarily alone.
But you, like I said, you have five children. At the four, your four brothers, your son. So that meant you had to spend time with each of them,
Hmm.
understand and know who they are, and nurture each of them, take them to their different activities. Like that took a lot of time. But why is it important to actually spend time with each individual child to get to know who they are?
So I would say, okay, why is it important to spend time with each individual child to get to know who
Mhm,
they are for their
mhm.
own personal development?
Yes, thank.
Um, yes, and I would say that it's each just we're all individuals and we're all trying to find our way and nobody shares the same perspective, so everybody's going to have different I guess positionalities in life.
Mhm,
Nothing is the same for any two people,
mhm,
so two children can be in the same room witnessing the exact same
mhm,
thing, but from their standing in different points of the room. So their
Mhm.
perspectives can be completely different based off of that. So it's important to know your child. It's important to know who your child is, so that you can know how to manage them, how to take care of them. Because there's just no one size fits all for children. There are some things that are like generalized, can be generalized, but there's every you have to know who the child is, and in order to know who the child is, you have to spend individual time with
Mhm.
them.
That is absolutely beautiful.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
I remember spending time. You were a baby when I used to sing to you all, and I was to sing. Remember the song I was singing almost every night?
Just a closer walk with thee. Granted, Jesus is my plea. Daily walking
Walking
close.
close to thee.
Yeah, I
Let
remember that.
it be, dear Lord, let it be. And I would sing to y'all every night, and we would also read something. And then as you got older, I would have you all to read to me. But to your point, it took a lot of sacrifice and patience because I was also, some point I was divorced, and at another point I was married. So if I was married, I mean I had the responsibilities of a husband. If I was divorced, I mean I was doing on my own. And then when dad got sick and he came, we got back together, our family back together, we were taking care of dad and we had all these children. But it took intentionality, like you said, to spend that time to sing to you all, read to you all, have you all to read to me while doing some of my other responsibilities. But here's a funny thing is I would sing that song every night and y'all just loved it when you were babies. Y'all be singing and you were like, oh, sing it, mom. Yeah. And then y'all sing it with me. And then you would fall asleep. And then when y'all got to around 10, 9, 8, and 6, y'all were like, that's enough, mom. You're singing off key. I don't know if you remember that. But you're like, yeah, you're singing off because you're all musicians, right? And I was like, okay, from now on, they're gonna have to start singing to me. But
Turns
tell
out
us,
I sing like my mama. No,
what do you mean by that exactly?
I'm not quite a singer. I can hold a note. I can carry a note, but singing
Mhm.
is not my forte.
Mine either. Mine either. But I and dad was about education, okay, pouring
Mhm.
into you all. And we'll get into how dad taught music in a minute, but tell us about your childhood experiences having your parents and your community to teach you. Because at one point you were in public school, I think maybe very shortly, but then we pulled you out. Tell us about that story.
So yes, I think I went to maybe kindergarten and first grade. I think I was pulled out
Mhm,
of public school, maybe first or second grade. I think
mhm,
first grade,
mhm,
or yeah, I think first grade. And we learned in my Aunt Darlene's school. She had a home school, and it was
mhm,
in her basement. My Aunt Darlene was a genius, and she
mhm.
taught us most of the things that we know. Me personally, she taught me a lot of the things that I know, especially the business acumen that I have comes from my Aunt Darlene, and I appreciate her for that.
Mhm,
Um, so yes, so because she owned her school, she was able to hire her own educators. So she
mhm,
hired family, and it made perfect sense. My mother, you being you, taught me literature, and my father taught art and music. And
mhm,
it was, I think it was very integral to my development um, and I guess my relation to music, art, and education. So I
mhm.
do appreciate that experience.
She taught, first she taught in her basement. Then well, before she taught, she had a daycare close to
Right,
our
right.
daycare. Remember?
Yes,
She had
yes.
a daycare center that she started in her home. And I tell people that sometimes you can start with like the bare minimum. She started in her home with a daycare center, and she said, "I'm going to, take care of our children so the family members can work." And she started with my our your you my four oldest and her three,
Mhm.
and then she went from her home to a building downtown Portsmouth, Ohio. She was the first African American woman to have a business in downtown Portsmouth. She never took no for an answer. Like she would, I don't know how she did. She was brilliant though. She would stay up late at night writing grants. She would read books. She would go talk to mayors. She would go to meetings until she got that building. And while she was there, she had a brilliant idea to now move from a daycare center to a school because now you all needed to be educated. And the woman was just phenomenal. So she started there, and then when that business, for some reason it didn't work out in that building long term. Oh no, she moved to from Portsmouth, Ohio to Huntington, West Virginia. Then she started again in her basement. Then she
Mhm.
moved to the YMCA, and then she got a big building. So she started from almost nothing. What are your memories like being in her school with your dad, your mom, your uncles, your auntie, your grandma? The in-laws who
Well,
had been divorced even from the family worked for the family. She didn't care. Go ahead.
that was my life. That's what I knew.
Mm,
So it was it just felt right. That's just the way it was. I did go to school, but I only went to school shortly before transitioning into, well, public school, I mean, before transitioning into her school. So um it was that's just the way that was the way of
mhm,
life. It was
mhm,
just the way it was. I didn't know it to be great or terrible because I didn't
mhm,
have too much to reference it from. That it was
mhm.
just it was comfortable. That was life.
And what are
Mhm.
your thoughts now looking back on it, on that
Now, my
experience?
thoughts now looking back on it is that I learned probably learned more more in the homeschool setting, and or her private school that
Mhm,
I've learned in any grade school. Maybe in college I started to learn different things that
mhm,
shaped me in different ways. But I got a lot of education, like things that I wouldn't get elsewhere. I was watching Eyes on the Prize,
mhm.
just different documentaries. We were quoting. We had to cite the Creed by Marva Collins, and like it's by
Every
memory
morning,
every
every
single
morning
morning. And
by
yeah,
memory.
she did a phenomenal job. She, God bless her soul, was a great woman.
Do you want to say it,
Society
Creed?
draw a circle that just. I'm not gonna read it now because you're gonna make me cry. No,
Society
but
will draw a circle. You want me to
that
read
shit.
it?
I'll read it.
Okay.
Marva Collins Creed. Society will draw a circle that shuts me out, but my superior thoughts will draw me in. I was born to win if I do not spend too much time trying to fail. I can become a citizen of the world if I do not spend too many energies attempting to become local. I will ignore the tags and names given me by society since only I know what I have the ability to become. I will continue to let society predict, but only I can determine what I will, can, or cannot do. Failure is just as easy to combat as success is to obtain. Education is painful and not gained by playing games, but I have seen failure to destroy millions with promised hopes and broken dreams. While I have the opportunity, I shall not sit on the sideline bitter with despair and wish later that I had become a literate lifter of this world instead of a failing leaner. I will use each day to the fullest. I promise that each day shall be gained, not lost, used, not thrown away. Yet it is my privilege to destroy myself if that is what I choose to do. I have the right to fail, but I do not have the right to take my teacher and other people with me. I am the captain of only one life, my own. Therefore, if I decide to become a failure, it is my right. We are all promised the pursuit of happiness, and that is what I must do: pursue happiness and success for myself. No one will give it to me on a proverbial platter, and no one will care as much about me as I must care about myself. But I must be willing to accept the consequences for that failure, and I must never think that those who have chosen to work while I played, rested, and slept will share their bounties with me. I will wave proudly my flag, signifying that I am a failure by choice, but I will never envy those who have selected to wave their unfurled banners announcing their success.
Mm.
My success and my education can be a companion, which no misfortune can depress, no crime can destroy, no enemy can alienate, no envy or names can hurt me. Education and success can be a lifetime solace. It guides goodness. It gives at once grace and genius to governments, communities, cities, townships, and villages, homes, and palaces. Without education, what is a man? A splendid slave, a savage, a beast wandering from here to there, believing whatever they are told. A higher power is not some cosmic bellboy who comes out at your beck and call. If I want to achieve that first step, must be of my own undertaking. Likewise, if I want to fail, that too is my choice. Time and chance comes to us all. Whether I decide to take that time and chance is indeed my own choice. I can either be hesitant or courageous. Life does indeed maroon the hesitant and inspire the brave. I can swiftly stand up and shout, "This is my time and place. I will accept the challenge or I will let others make my decisions for me." I can, is that it? That's it.
I can
Or let
swiftly.
others make my decisions for me. Yes. And that is
Oh,
the creed.
okay. Okay, that is the Creeds by Mahler. As you were reading that or reciting that, because I know you still know it by heart, what were your thoughts?
I I know it in my heart, but I don't know it word for word by heart anymore. But
Mhm,
it's really it's powerful. And then to imagine, I was maybe 7 or 8
mhm,
reciting this entire creed by memory every single morning, um, telling myself, teaching myself that I have to show up for myself. I am responsible for
mhm,
myself, and I have to hold myself accountable. And I can't blame anybody if I choose to fail. That failure is a choice
mhm,
because just as success is a choice. And so I have to choose success
mhm,
for myself.
mhm.
That's the only for me, that's the only option. That's what I gathered, is that if I'm failing, I can't blame nobody else. I don't have anybody else to blame. So my only option, there goes my auntie. Hi,
I know.
auntie.
She passed a few years ago, but she was a brilliant woman. This is her daughter Lydia. This is Darlene Cartwright, about whom we're speaking, that owned a daycare and a school that educated all of our children. Okay, so each morning we had to do the creed, and I was like the literature teacher, as you said, and also a counselor. And so when she was busy, she would have me to have you all recite the creed together. That meant I had to learn it. And you
Hmm.
all would be saying it with such enthusiasm, just like you were read it. It is my choice and my right. It was beautiful to hear all these children just say the creed of Marva Collins at the same time. Such a
Hmm.
beautiful, beautiful memory I have. And
Same.
Marva Collins was a teacher in Chicago.
Hmm.
So you all would do well to learn about who she was, because she had wonderful scholars. I think she had a magnet. Was it a magnet school, or just was it her private school?
I don't know, honestly. I do not know. I think it might have been a magnet school.
But Darlene mimicked her methods, and Darlene Lattimore Cartwright, DeSara's auntie, and made sure that the children learned the creed and learned some of her methods for teaching. She also had books that were inspired by Marvin Collins that she used to teach you all. Beautiful experience. Now, what was it like to see like your mom teaching literature and then Uncle David teaching math? Like you all were children learning calculus and trigonometry. I'm talking about you were like elementary, middle school, learning trig, advanced math. And then your dad was teaching music and art. What in hindsight, what do you think about all that?
Well, I mean, it really shaped who I am right now today.
Mm,
I I am an artist.
mm,
I am an educator.
mm,
It it is really important, that we see our role models and our quote unquote idols or the people who we look up to, it's important that we see them in positions that we well, hope to be in the future, positions of authority and just respectable positions, so that we can have something to aspire to be, and I guess kind of like a roadmap, or like you have an example of
Mhm.
something that you want to be and something that you can be, and this just it broadens your horizon to so many options of who you can become when you see like the people who raised you to do it before you.
And even people from the community, she had somebody that knew how to cook. I don't know how good of a cook he was, but he was the one that would cook, prepare breakfast and lunch for you all. Um, what were your thoughts about that? Like seeing people from the community volunteer, because a lot of them, some of them were paid and some of them were volunteer
It was
members.
really cool. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead. No,
It
go
was
ahead.
really cool. We were able to develop like kind of personal relationships, ethical relationships with these helpers or volunteers. Like I remember Mr. Kosh, I think it was his name, and we would tell him when we didn't, what is this? What are we eating? But we still would eat it because we knew who he was, because we
Mhm.
knew that maybe it was just a bad day, or maybe we didn't eat it, but we still, we're able to have memories around those moments.
Yes. And I'm going to get into, you said you're an artist because Dad is an artist. I'm going to get into that a little bit. What are your thoughts about, you've had both experiences, public education yourself and private education, your family owning a school
Hmm.
and homeschooling. And you also had some experience with Amir Ra. You raised him and taught him yourself, and he's been in public school. What are your thoughts about private versus public, or homeschooling versus public? Should it be one versus the other, or should it be a mixture? What are your thoughts about that
My
as a
thoughts
teacher and a parent?
as a teacher and a parent, as a parent, my thoughts are, as a teacher and a parent, my thoughts are that children should be homeschooled. As a
Mhm.
single parent, I know that that is difficult.
Okay.
So for instance, my child is not homeschooled. He does go to public school. However, I started him out learning in the home. And so that by the time he was in school, there wasn't really much to teach him.
Okay.
I don't mean to be arrogant, but it's
Mhm.
possible is what I'm saying, is
Mhm.
that when you put in the work on the front end, then by the time they're in school, they're really already supposed to know what the
Mhm.
information. They're supposed to just be going over it in school, and
Mhm.
that was something that my son did experience, was already knowing the information and then going over it. But so for me, in a lot of ways, and I'm not saying that this is the best thing. I'm not recommending this, but
Okay.
for me, in a lot of ways, school has been and is childcare for me, so that I can have some reprieve, so
Mhm.
that um, so that I can get other things done
Mhm.
during the day. However, because my son is in an advanced standing right now, well, because he's so advanced,
Mhm.
he will be going into middle school as an 8-year-old.
Mhm.
Um, Middle school for me is, as a teacher, as an educator, is the most difficult age group to deal with in
Mhm.
grade school, because a lot of them are really finding themselves and they're testing the waters, trying to see what they can and cannot get away with. My son will not go to public school for middle school. I will be homeschooling him
Mhm.
because it matters to me that much. And for me, in elementary
Mhm.
school, it's like, you know, they're young. You don't really expect too much. However, there are things that your child just gets exposed to, though, that
Mhm.
you can't unexpose them to. Like, you can't take it back once they are exposed. So that is something that I kind of struggle with, to be honest, is
Mhm.
knowing that I believe that my son should be homeschooled, but also
Mhm.
knowing that when you're doing it alone, it's some you just it's difficult. It's difficult. So, but sacrifices have to be made, and that's why I'm choosing to make the sacrifice to not send him to middle school. in public school, but to continue to teach him at home.
There was a brief time you allowed me to take him, and I took my granddaughter out of the school to homeschool them and to work with them. And I really appreciate that because that gave us a lot of bonding time. And it gave me the opportunity to not just teach them math and science, vocabulary, but also teach them about the things I'm interested in. So your son and my granddaughter, my grandchildren love precious metals. They understand the value of precious metals. They know, they stay up on the price of precious metals. It's amazing. They go to the coin shop. They are phenomenal, especially your son at geography. They know what the BRICS Union is. All those nations they created. You know, what do you call it? Posters of the flags and the countries, and do research on the countries, the BRICS Union and the Shanghai Corporation organizations. So I appreciate the fact that you allow me to be active in their life, you know, whether we take them out for a time and I raise them or teach, not raise them, but teach them at home, or we go to the schools and make sure we have a presence there. Because you have a very strong relationship with the principal.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
What is that
Yes.
like, that relationship with the principal?
It's great. She for a while I had been trying to get for a while I had been trying to get my son classified as gifted because he's been gifted all his life, but it's you really have to advocate for your children in these school systems because they'll say okay and then they'll just never get back with you, and you try and you try and you try. And I've tried so hard. My son entered like last year entered this school as a third grader, as a second grader.
Mhm.
Wait, was it last? Yeah, as a second
last
grader
year?
last school year. He skipped second, went to third, then started this school year as a fourth, skipped fourth, went to fifth. So he's currently in the fifth grade. She worked with me throughout the whole entire process. She where other people have had failed in that department. Principal Parker really, really, really supported me and advocated for me, and I am very grateful to her for that. Very grateful. It's a blessing. She called me on a Saturday to tell me, you know, your son has been, you know, he did qualify for gifted. He did qualify to move on to the next grade, and she's just been a very helpful force.
Let me tell you, this is something that I do for all of my guests here. So let me just pause here to say, family, I thank you so much for being here to listen to Mr. Sarah Lattimore, who's a psychologist, an entrepreneur, and an educator, a teacher, currently a certified teacher, talk about the importance of investing in our children. If you've enjoyed this podcast, she has stated she's a single mom, but she's taking care of herself very well, but you would like to pour into her and what she's doing for children. And she also has a beautiful business that she just started. We're going to talk about. Then feel free to donate to her at her Cash App at $DEJKL. That's $DEJKL. What does DEJKL stand for?
That is my name. Those are my initials, DeSarah Elaine Janie K. Lattimore. Yes.
Yes. So DeSarah, after the princess of the Bible, the biblical name Sarah, meaning princess. Elaine is your Aunt Darlene's middle name. Janie is my mom's middle name, and Kay is your dad, Mr. Lattimore, Douglas Lattimore's middle name. Would it be okay for me to show a picture of you and your dad? Would that be okay? Would that be and would that be emotional for you?
That would be fine. That would be fine.
Okay. What is some of the fondest memories you have of your dad who transitioned like about 3 or 4 years ago?
My father probably gave me all the practical skills in life that I have.
Okay.
Everything that I know how to do, my father taught me how to do it. I remember my father one day, this is just a random memory that is close to me.
Okay.
One day my father he said, he was teaching us, and he said, I need a volunteer. And I was the first one to raise my hand, and I volunteered. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And then he said, come here. And then he told us what was happening. And he told us that he wanted us to experience, he wanted somebody, he wanted to have a volunteer to experience what it's like to be blind. And so what
Mhm.
he did was he took a blindfold and put it over my face. It was actually construction paper. It was a black construction paper, and tied it somehow, got it around my face. And I had to walk around all day as a blind person so that I could know what it's like,
Yeah.
what and I maybe I should say people who have blindness rather,
Mm.
so that I can know what it's like to experience blindness, or so that I can kind of walk in their shoes. When I
Mhm.
took off the construction paper at the end of the day, he took it off, and you could see the little tears because I was crying because it was just I, I didn't know it was I didn't expect it. It was an experience. I
Mhm.
even when he told me like what I was getting into, I was excited, but it was an
Mhm.
experience that just really forced me to change my approach to life, and
Mm.
to be more empathetic and
Wow.
sympathetic to people, and their conditions, or the things that, or their experience, just from to see life through, well, I would say another person's eyes, so to speak.
Mhm.
So he gave me lessons that he would say, like, then he would say, like, okay, look at this picture and describe it to me as if I were blind, and you have to describe it. Then I had a blind friend in college who was such
Right.
a great friend. His name was Darren, is Darren, and such a great friend. And I was able to communicate with him in ways that I wouldn't have
I
even thought
remember.
of.
Yes, I remember him.
Like when I would tell him colors, he would say, like I would say, and the wall is red. He would say, is it like a brick red, or is it like, like the sky, on a hot night or something? I don't know, but he just really, my father instilled in me
Mm.
empathy, and
Mm.
I think that's the biggest lesson that I learned
Mm.
from him. He was such a kind and compassionate man. I remember him,
Mm.
a man bleeding out on the train tracks, and my dad pulling him into the car and taking him to the
Mm.
hospital. I have so many fond memories of my father. My father was definitely a great man. He taught me every practical skill I have, art,
Mm.
any type of musicianship that I have, anything dealing with creativity. My father instilled that in me. And I will say, you instilled education in me. My
Mhm.
father instilled creativity. So I think that was a great and perfect balance for who I
And
am.
and that's why it's important. You had mentioned, if at all possible, bring up your children in a two-parent home. It is so important because even after your dad, and people know my story, we split up. Uh, it was so hard for me. It was I had an epiphany, like going through being a woman without her husband, trying to raise, four children. And thankfully, you all were so important to me. I didn't bring, people in and out of our house. You all were just so important to me. But I learned the value of a husband. I learned the value of my children's father. Even though we didn't see eye to eye on some of the things, I thought, you know what? When it comes to the children, your personal innuendos and problems don't even matter,
Mhm.
because what your father brought to you, I couldn't. I was about education, discipline, order, structure, but you hardly had fun. But right?
Yes.
But what
Yes.
was go speak? I mean, feel free if you are comfortable speaking on like the difference between, like, you have this strict mom, education, and then you have dad who's more loving, you know what I mean, more nurturing, you know
More
what I'm saying?
lenient. Yeah.
Huh?
More lenient
Creative, lenient,
too.
yeah. What was that
um,
like?
um, I think it was a healthy balance. My father being present.
Hmm.
I think I think having that duality, it just it allows for, I guess, the a natural law of compensation to like
Mm,
just balance each other out or balance itself out to where I'm not feeling too pressured to be, academically, I guess,
mhm,
advanced, or I'm not feeling too pressured to
mhm,
be so creative. I have the best of both
mhm,
worlds. I had the option to where I could just take from what I needed from each parent, and
mhm,
that's what I think is important. I think it's very important for children, especially, to be able
mhm,
to take what they need from their parents, and to
mhm.
find themselves in their parents as well.
I appreciate how you're able to look at what happened in your life and see the positive, because
Mhm.
you said earlier you can choose to look at the glass. It's about choices, half empty or half full. So
Mhm.
I appreciate that you can say, it was a healthy balance. And I'm sure that informed you how you would raise your son, your personal experiences.
Yes, yes.
Mhm. And you talked about, go ahead.
I was just going to agree, and I would say
Mhm.
my son has a lot of characteristics
Mhm.
that he has gotten from me, but he most certainly has his father's temperament, because my son is just so calm and
Yes.
amicable, and just just has a gentle heart and gentle spirit, and he teaches me every day how to reciprocate that.
And he's so patient as well.
Yes, yes.
Yes. And you talked about the importance of listening to your children. When your dad and I were separated, I remember we were just going through a very critical time. At me being a single parent trying to figure out life, I was like, oh my God, what have I done? You know what I mean? Like going through a separation, thinking about myself, honestly. And it was you all, it was my children that said, Mom, we don't like this. We've never been poor before. Now all of a sudden we're a little poor, we've never expect what are you doing? Like, and you were children. So that's when I said, you know what? I have to put my personal feelings and thoughts aside and think about my children. And that's what I don't know if you know this, but I went to your dad and had a conversation with him. And that's when things started turning around. I was like, you know what? I know we didn't see eye to eye and we might have gone our separate ways, but I can't live without you. I can't live without you. I can't live without your family. I can't live without community. I need us to figure this out. But I had to listen to you all. I chose to listen to you all say, this is ridiculous. Like, we don't like this at all. So I appreciate the fact that you spoke up. Yeah. And you expressed yourself, and that made me pause. And at one time, I even came to you all and talked to you all about, you know, uh, your feelings. And I said, I'm so sorry. I don't know if you remember that. I said, listen, I need to talk to you about all and take accountability for being a single parent now,
Mhm.
and I need to take accountability for what this looks like. And I asked you how you felt about it, and y'all just went. I mean, you unleashed. Do you remember that? Your emotions.
I don't think I remember it, not to my knowledge, but I know we've had conversations like these, but
Mhm,
I don't know if
mhm.
I remember this particular one.
Yeah, yeah, because you were a little younger, and you were a little more understanding than the boys. I,
Mhm, mhm,
you were a little more like mom. I don't know, you just had this understanding that people go through, maybe it's the psychologist in you that was even there as a young age, that people go through different developmental stages. So you kind of, step back and listen. You was like, okay, yeah, I didn't like this, but now I'm glad that you and dad are getting together. But the boys, they were like, we don't like this, we don't like that. You know what I'm saying? We need our parents together. We need y'all to figure this out. And I have to say that when dad and I had that conversation, it was a turning point for my life and I think for the family.
mhm,
I think so. Yeah. So I don't want to get, too personal because I want you to be comfortable as well.
mm.
Um, but is there anything else you would like to say about either family or our family or children before we transition into you as an artist and businesswoman?
There was just one small thing that I wanted to go all the way to the beginning and say, when you first have children, I would recommend trying to avoid talking baby talk to your children because that
Mm,
becomes confusing to your
mm,
children. If you teach a baby that bottle means baba, then you're teaching them baba, but then you have to go back and reteach and correct. And
ooh,
that can be confusing for the child, and it can stunt their growth, their development.
mhm.
If you're giving them, even though they're cute words, or
Mhm.
yeah, 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 bye, bye, and then you're wondering why your baby's like, like. But I would just recommend just speaking to your child in a manner in which you would like for them to be able to communicate
Mm,
with you or with other people. So that's just something I would want to keep in mind. And also spell every word. If you
okay.
say, "Oh, there's a car, CAR, car," that's also something that I think will help and make sure that things they're watching. No, no, maybe no Coco Melon, but I do recommend like Akili and Me. That's the one that I really had my son watching. I wish it was a little boy, but for him, just for his sake. But it was a little girl, but it still worked for him, and it's very educational. So I highly recommend it. Just monitor those tablets
Mhm.
because Roblox is not going to function with your children in mind. They're going to function with
Mm.
profit in mind, and profit is centered around things that our children should have no dealings with, usually.
Akili and Me and Kirikou, that was another one I remember.
Oh,
What?
Kiraku, that was really cool. That was a cute. I don't know that it was very educational, but I feel like it was
Mm,
like kind of it gave some maybe it was inspirational
mhm.
and maybe like more motivational than educational.
What's it called? Kirikou? What was it again?
Kiraku, I don't know how to spell it. I don't know how to spell
Okay. Kirikou. It was a little African baby, maybe?
it. Yes. And I think he was telling his mom like, let me out, get me out of here. Like, and she was
Out of the
like,
womb, right?
yeah, she's like, if you can speak for yourself, you can birth yourself. So so he did. He gave birth to himself, and he became a great and powerful leader for his
Mhm.
people. Yes.
So you monitor what he sees. I don't remember him watching movies or anything like that growing up. I mean, he's only 8, but you were just very, very intentional in his life. Now, what about people? What are your experiences about with having him around certain people?
Um, that one's really tough. That one's tough because you never know people's intentions. And
Mm,
so you can never be too sure. And
mm,
that has that has led me to just be vigilant about who he's around and the type of energy that's around him because
mm,
some people are energy vampires, or some
mm,
people don't have the best intentions or accidentally, some people have
mhm,
great intentions, but
mhm,
some people say great intentions, good intentions are pave the road to hell. Not saying
mm,
that I feel that about every good intention, but I'm just saying sometimes people can have good intentions in mind, but only you know what's best for your child. Your child knows what's best for your child, not always other people. And a lot of people
mhm,
will have their opinions about how you should raise your child. For example, I'm a gentle parent. I do practice gentle parenting, but I've never had to really to
mm,
physically discipline my child because like I said, there was no terrible two stage. Just teach them how
mhm,
to read. That's the most important thing because if they learn how to read, when you teach them how to read, then they can teach themselves anything because all they have to do is read it. At this point, my son has like to ask him what his streak is on Duolingo.
Almond, come here. Come here.
He has his own structure. He disciplines him. He's disciplined within himself. He's more
Mm,
disciplined in a lot of ways than even I am. And fortunately, I was able to help to instill that in him. But it's something that I can appreciate. Rob, what's your Duolingo streak?
767 days.
So for 767 days, he on his own, because I don't tell him that he has to do this, on his own chooses to educate himself on his tablet via
Mm,
Duolingo every single day
mm,
for the last 700 and how many days? 700
Uh,
and
67.
767 days. I'm
mm.
impressed. I'm his parent and and I'm impressed, but it just goes to show that it can be done. All you have to do is be intentional about it and do it on purpose. Do it
Mm,
on purpose. Go out of your way to educate your children.
mm. If you don't have a purpose for your child, somebody else will have one for him.
Touche.
Hmm. And if you don't know your child's mission, somebody will create a mission for your child. Amen has let you know on many occasions what he has come to do.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay, you can go back in the room now, sweetie. Is that okay if he goes back in the room?
Yes. Yes, that's
Okay,
okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye, big boy.
Bye, mommy.
say bye, mommy. So you talked about intentionality, food, colors, temperament, um, energies. Anything else we're lacking about or we need to mention about children? One of the things I noticed, especially with Amin Ra, and I've always noticed this about my children, but it was something particular about Amin Ra is the people in power, they know who your children are. They know the star seeds, they know the special ones, they know, go ahead, who they
It's
are.
really hard. It's really hard to if you once you expose them to the public school system, then all their information is in the hands of the people in power. And my son, he's performing at the top 1% in the nation right now. So there are a lot of eyes, a lot of people wondering who is this young man. So that is something that I would agree with. A lot of people have their eyes on him and have their own intentions, which is why I have to override that and I have to make sure that my intentions are the ones that mold who he is and his development.
From the time he was a child,
Yes.
a baby, you didn't let him take those shots.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
go ahead. You want to talk
Right.
about that?
I
Mhm.
just that's just the truth. He didn't it was recommended that he takes the different vaccinations, but I did not give my son vaccinations. I do not believe that's what he needed to thrive. And in
Mhm.
fact, I was convinced that quite the opposite could occur if I did give him those vaccinations. Now, obviously, I can't say one way or another, but I can say that I'm proud of the decision that I made, and I'm glad that I made those decisions.
And it made some people very upset.
Yes, yes,
People in certain positions very upset.
yes,
Yeah. That's
yes.
why we have to be very intentional. Now, how important is it for elders to be involved in the children's lives as young people like you are raising children?
I think it's very important. It's important for the children for the children to to see the range of knowledge and wisdom
Mm,
that the human body can, I guess,
mm,
absorb. I
mhm,
also think it's important for the children to see accountability and the structure, like family structure,
mhm,
to see and or community structure and
mm,
community accountability. Is important for my son to see that if I need help or community networking or community support, if I need help, that I can lean on my mother, that if
mhm,
something is going wrong, that I can call on my brother. I think it's
mhm,
important for children to see that so that they know
mm,
that how to utilize the resources that they have and how to communicate and network with the people that are around them. I think it's very important for the elders. It's important for us to give back to our elders. It's important to
mhm,
show the our children how important how the necessity of repaying what was given to us. So all of the time and
mhm,
sacrifices that were spent nurturing us,
mhm,
it's time for our children to witness the parents giving back. to the elders
Mm.
so that they can grow and know that it's within my realm of responsibility to be helpful to my parents and to the elders and the people that come before me.
That was beautifully spoken.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, you've spoken a little bit about teacher's perspective, psychologist's perspective, and a lot on mom's perspective. Now, before we get into, I really want to talk about your art, but before we and your business, but before we get into that, I will say one final thing, and I want you to answer some questions from the audience too. Um, from a teacher's perspective, if you could talk to the parents about what you see in the schools and what you need from us as parents, what would you say as a teacher?
Um, what I see in the schools is devastation. It's
Mhm.
devastating. Watching children who are in eighth grade but can't spell their name.
Mhm.
Um, I
Mhm.
don't know that I can put this all on No Child Left Behind, but I can say that I do see some of the impacts and implications that that had on our children and their educational and their performance in academics. The children, a lot of children are just misguided. Parents are tired, so they're checked out. So the kids are
Mhm.
kind of raising themselves. Um,
Mhm.
they're overly sexualized. Little girls look like grown women. Little
Mhm.
boys are doing grown man things, and it's it's really a different world than what I came into coming up, and
Mhm.
so yeah, don't recommend it. Don't
Mhm.
really recommend it. But what I what I do recommend is that if we're in a position where we have to do it, where we have to put our children in these institutions such as schools, what
Mhm.
I recommend is that one, we try to make sure it's a good school. Two, make sure that we're present. Make sure that we know the teachers. If you know who the teacher is, then the teacher is more likely to call you if before something goes wrong or when something goes wrong, than to just allow it to happen.
Mhm.
Some educators, a lot of our educators are we're exhausting because we're doing the job that parents don't have the energy to do. You
Mhm.
know, and we're I don't know. We have class. Well, there'll be a classroom. I think the last school I taught at, I had a classroom of 35 children, um,
Wow.
and they were seventh graders. That's so for me.
Mhm.
That's the most hectic grade.
Yeah.
But the children aren't getting the attention that they need. The
Mhm.
ratios are completely skewed, and there's a lot of work that needs to be done. So I would recommend that parents are present, are joining
Mhm.
PTAs, are being involved, so that the teachers will when the teachers know that the parents care, then they try more, they try harder. It gives them a little more motivation. So
Mhm.
become present in your child's school, but more importantly, be present at home.
Mhm.
When my son comes home, he reads for an hour, and then he does his Duolingo because he chooses to do Duolingo. And
What is Duolingo? Go ahead.
Duolingo, okay, here's the funny thing. So this is also something that I wanted to discuss is that when you do, let me make sure I'm wording it properly. You can almost like a lot of people might say, oh well, one day he's not there yet, but one day he's gonna get bad, he's gonna get big, and he's gonna defy you, gonna go against you. But I think it's important to know that you can also shape defiance. And
Mm.
so some things that are like canon events that are like, oh, everybody goes through it, everybody gets mad at their mom or might yell or something, but you can shape those things. So my son, one day I did tell him, like, I want you to learn Spanish.
Mhm.
um, he got on the Duolingo app and he started learning Spanish. About a year later, I'm surprised that he's still choosing to participate and to engage on this app. And so Duolingo, they started off teaching languages,
Mhm.
but by now I'm looking and I'm finding out he's doing chess. He's learning chess. And
Mhm.
so my son, my mom says I'm a chess champion. I will not play him in chess because he wins. He beats me now. Um, but yeah, so that act of defiance is
Mhm.
like, it's like, son, didn't I tell you Spanish? But
Mm.
I'm not really so let down that he chose chess over Spanish. You know what I'm saying? So in my mind, it's better than him looking up some,
Mm.
protest things on the internet or something like that. So I say that to say that you can choose, or you can shape even the negative outcomes, or the so-called negative outcomes,
Mm.
and shape them in a way that you transmute it into a positive, um,
Mm.
and into something that can actually be beneficial to yourself and or your child.
What does chess do for him, for his brain or his development, or for
Well,
children?
for
Mhm.
spatial visualization, I think it's great, but for the approach in life, and I guess his methods of solving different problems, critical thinking,
Mhm.
decision making skills, being two steps ahead of the game, so to speak, or
Mhm.
just knowing how to advance in life, how to you know what the common goal is, or what the goal is that you're supposed to actualize. So you actually so the method, you learn different methods of accomplishing different goals. And I think that's the lesson that I hope that he one lesson that I hope that he gathers from it.
Yeah, I do love that you teach him at home, even though you said, you have to put him in school because you have to work and you're focusing on your business, but you teach him at home. Sometimes we have conversations about private school versus public school. And I said to Sarah, a lot of times we parents complain about what's happening in the public schools, but in my mind, we almost don't have a right to complain as much, because it's like we're turning over our kids, and then we get upset with what they do with them. And you say, well,
Yeah,
mom, a lot of us though a lot of parents have to put them in not only to learn, but for socialization. And then today, or most recently, was you did some study on socialization. And what did you discover about
that
socialization with children?
yes, that the parents are the primary agents of education and socialization of children.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
So whereas we've been trained and conditioned that they need public school education for socialization to learn how to get along with other children, but I hear you saying that is the primary responsibility of the parent.
Correct. And that's
Wow.
not to say that your child shouldn't be around other kids.
Mhm.
Um, just that you should choose the children that your child is around, you know.
I remember choosing your friends when you
Mhm.
were growing up. I remember I didn't let you all go a lot of places. I would tell you, no, I'm not going to let you go, but I'll take you, and I would sit right there with you. And sometimes, you didn't complain as much as the boys. You really didn't. But
I
what are
was a
your
perfect
thoughts? Go ahead.
princess. I was
You
a
were a
perfect
prince.
princess.
You were a prince.
No.
What was that like growing up? What kind of things did you do as a princess?
um, no, honestly, I was more of a tomboy than a princess, but
Mhm.
I still think that what kind of things did I do? I would guess that it didn't bother me so much because I was also the youngest and the only
Mhm.
girl. So
Mhm. Mhm.
I heard a lot of no. My brothers, they had to get used to it, but
And you still have some residual effects about,
yes.
they were the musicians that were in the front. They played at bands and different clubs with dad. They were church musicians. They were boys. And because I had so many boys, sometimes I would be like the boys. And you had to correct me on that as you were growing up, and you found your voice, and discovered your voice. She was like, you keep saying the boys, I'm a girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
You say you wonder why I'm a tomboy. It's because we there are 7 boys and 1 girl, mom, and you have to stop saying the boys, and you have to stop, just thinking we're all just the crew, right?
Mhm,
So I
mhm.
really appreciate you for doing that. And children need to be able to express themselves in that way. Would you
And
say?
Thank you for acknowledging that. And yes, I would say, I think that leans back onto your point that we have to train up our child according to their bend,
Mhm.
because ultimately, you know, if you do raise up, it can become easy. It can
Mhm.
become so easy to clump all your children together because I've
Mhm.
raised more than one child at once, and it can
Mhm.
become easy to like to for individual identities to get lost in the shuffle of just parenting. So that is why I do stress
Mhm.
intentionality and patience, so that you can spend, you know, quality time to get to know that child and to
Mhm.
know what, you know, just what they need and how you can show up for them.
Yeah, because you raised your four younger brothers and your son, and now your four younger brothers are thriving.
Yes, they are great young, handsome, lovely, terrific young men. Yes.
Yes, they are all working, and the ones that have children and taking care of their children, they make you proud, don't they?
Yes, they
Yeah.
do. They do. And I love every single one of them.
Mhm.
Yes.
You are a phenomenal woman, a phenomenal mother. Really
Thank you, Mom.
brilliant, brilliant. You're welcome. Brilliant playing chess. You are a debate champion. You debated all over the country. How did that shape you? And I'm asking you these questions because our children learn by doing other things other than focusing on reading, math, and arithmetic, like being involved in summer programs, being involved in debate, chess, etc. How was that for you? How did that shape you being a debater?
Um, Being a debater, the thing that I could say, that I got from it the most from it was being able to see things from different perspectives, being able to
Mm.
view one topic from a left-leaning perspective and a right-leaning perspective. So
Mm.
that really changed my approach to like politics, to the way I made decisions,
Mhm.
the way I thought about things. It really helped develop my critical thinking skills so that I could see
Mhm.
that, you know, the after a certain time frame, you know, the world doesn't revolve around me. I have to see that there are other people who exist in this world,
Mhm.
so that I can learn how to get along with the people in the world, or, you know,
Mhm.
so I have to understand their perspective, and or at least
Mhm.
try to get an understanding. And I think that's a really a big thing, is that I think a lot of people lose, is that they get so caught up in their own perspective or their own narrative that they can't see that other people have perspectives and thoughts and opinions. And sometimes you might have a shared common goal that
Mhm.
that requires different methods to get there, or you might be
Mhm.
taking different steps to get there, but we might lose sight of the goal because we're
Mhm.
taking different approaches to accomplishing that goal. So I would say debating has helped me to view the topics on both sides of the coin.
Mhm. Because you had to debate affirmative and what's the other part of that?
Negative, and then the
Negative.
negative. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And you established a big community in the debate, in your debate experience, didn't you?
Yes, there are a lot of great people in debate. If you want to become a debater, I do recommend it. Shout out to the University of Louisville. Shout out to Tiffany Dillard Knox and Mary Mudd and all the beautiful people that are there making things happen every day, every year. Um, a lot of great things came about in my life, from me being a debater. Yes, and I
Mhm.
met a lot of great people. Yes,
Yes. And then when you came to a certain age, I had you playing the trombone and you were the first chair playing the trombone. Do you
yes.
have any experiences that you'd like to share with, music, that how that helped develop you or what your thoughts were?
My brothers were really more musical than I was. I was more of like a poet, and then
Mhm.
like I would do some emceeing, but and songwriting. That
Mhm.
was something that I enjoyed doing. In terms of instruments, I did play. I was first chair and with the trombone, but it wasn't really a passion of mine. It was
Mhm.
really something that I did because my family was in music.
Mhm.
Um, but I enjoyed it
Mhm.
nonetheless. I
Mhm.
did.
And your son now, he's taking lessons with your older brother, with Douglas.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Because this is a family tradition. Now, the Lattimores, all across the Americas are actually entertainers and musicians. And we've come to know them as we've traveled different places. I was very fortunate to marry a Lattimore. Yes, thank you very much. But they're all musicians. Isn't that interesting? And entertainers. And then tell them about the ones that came from Europe, centuries ago. They were also important, the Lattimores. Like what
We
were
were Douglas would be the best person to give you this information, but they they were scribes and they were translators.
for the
So a lot
king?
for the king, yes. So a
Mhm.
lot of nobility or and travelers, voyagers would take Lattimores with them so that they could communicate because Lattimore spoke all the languages in of the worlds and the lands.
Mhm.
Um, so yes, historically Lattimores have actually significant relevance in society globally and in America. There are laws. I think one law is called the Lattimore Law. There are
Mhm.
laws that were constructed based off of experiences of Lattimores.
Mhm. And there's a famous Lattimore, is it a scientist that their
Louis
baby,
Latimer,
what's his name?
Louis
The
Latimer.
baby brother looks exactly like
He
him.
does look just like him. He does.
It looks like he came back, honestly.
Yeah, it does.
And so when you know those type of stories, it's very important that you share those with your children. And we do. We do. And so, one parent may not be able to do all of that. And you share those stories with your son, but Douglas, your oldest brother, makes sure he tells all of the children how great they are and what their name means and what they did, historically. I think that helps to shape them.
Yes, yes, I agree.
Somebody said, you are an awesome mother, Kia. You raise beautiful children. You have a beautiful family. Someone else also said, beautiful mother and daughter duo.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to just take a break and talk to them a little bit about your business. As you go get your artwork, do you have your artwork with you? This
Not
is
really.
the
I have a
Sarah.
few things.
This is the Sarah
I don't
and
really, I don't
uh,
really have like my portfolio present here.
okay. Do you
Um,
remember this picture?
yes, I do remember that picture when I graduated from college.
Yes, look at that. And you know what? You went to the University of Louisville, as did all of my children. But I don't know if you knew that, even though you chose to go there, that I chose that for y'all.
I think you made that very clear.
What are your thoughts about parents like choosing their children's education, choosing, some certain aspects of their children's path?
Um, I might have mixed feelings about that.
Okay.
So I think that those decisions should be made early on, and then those decisions should be consistently followed through. So
Mhm.
I think there were like for me personally,
Yeah.
it didn't bother me. I was either
Yeah.
going to go there or UC Davis, I think, but that was
Mhm.
so far that we chose.
Mhm.
You were like, no, I don't want you to be that far away, and I did
Mhm.
understand that. So that makes perfect sense to me. I would just say like there are some things that I think that I would do with my son that I wouldn't recommend for me because
Mhm.
it wasn't like that from the very beginning. And I think
No,
if,
okay.
if there's consistency from the beginning, and that's why it's important to start where you are, but start early, start yesterday, you know, um, just to have some consistency so that the child knows what to expect. So for
Mhm.
instance, I would like to choose my son's wife, and I've talked to him
Mhm.
about it, so he's
Mhm.
excited about it. But if I waited until he was 19 and I'm like, you're going to marry this person, I think
Right.
I don't think
Right.
that would go over
Right.
too well. So
Mhm.
I just think that if you start early and you're consistent and you have good intentions, then I think it should be able to work out that way.
Yes. So I believe in what they call it? What's the kind of marriage they call it?
Arranged marriage.
Arranged marriages. The way we had arranged marriages when I was growing up was we were all raised together. So your dad and I actually met each other as children
Mhm.
in the church, and by the time we were teenagers, we grew fond of each other, and so the elders in the church and in the community realized that we liked each other, and they were like, "Oh, y'all get married," and they didn't say, "Oh, you have to get married," but what they did is they made sure they protected us, and they know we liked each other, so we dated with the whole church. Everybody went out together.
Mhm. Mhm.
They made sure that I was groomed for marriage, and people don't like that word grooming, but I was. My grandmother was married, so she taught me how to cook, clean, and all those. But the elders in the church made sure that I was fit for him, for Douglas, for your dad.
Mhm.
And I thought that was a beautiful thing. But again, they started young. They started when we were children,
Mhm.
making sure I was fit and making sure he was fit for me,
Mhm.
making sure we would be a good match. And it obviously was a good idea because we were with him. I was with your dad to the time he closed his eyes.
Mhm.
Beautiful man. In terms of your education, the way I chose the University of Louisville was that I worked at the University of Louisville. I took you there when I was doing my research. I took you to all of the entertainment that they had on
Mhm.
campuses.
Mhm.
Um, the recruiters at the university were my friends, and I actually had them. You know this. Now I could tell you that Phyllis Clark and Dwayne Compton. I told them to call y'all. The recruiters at the university and tell you about all the scholarships. You all were brilliant. So you all graduated 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, 4.2, 4.4, 4.6, 4.8, something like that. So that's on a 4.0 GPA because you were in advanced classes, but you all got academic scholarships. So I had the recruiters at the University of Louisville, where I work, to call you all, tell you about all the scholarships, make sure if any of you wanted to stay in the dorms, you had the best dorms, you had the best food programs, and you knew about all of the activities. So that's how I chose the University of Louisville
Mhm.
for you all.
Mhm.
That's basically, you knew other universities, but that was like your playground. You literally played on a college campus growing
Mhm.
up.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, and I do believe in to some degree in the illusion of choice.
Yes.
Because my son, he's allowed to become a cardiovascular surgeon, or if he wants, he can become a neurosurgeon.
If he wants.
If he would like to, he can choose what he wants to do, but within the parameters that I set for him. And so
Mhm,
that is like a bit of an exaggeration. Like those aren't the only two things that he has an
mhm,
option to be, but
mhm,
a failure is not an option.
mhm,
You see, so I give him options of success. So I
mhm,
tell him you can do this or you can do that,
mhm,
and then he thinks those are the only, those are
mhm,
the options. He doesn't think, or I could just do nothing.
mhm, mhm, mhm. He's
So
going to choose within the parameters of what you set before him and what he sees his family do.
yes.
Yes. Okay, so I want to transition a little bit into you as a businesswoman. You
Yeah.
have established a business called go
Mosaic
ahead.
Monarch.
Hmm.
Mosaic Monarch.
Okay, tell us a little bit about what made you choose that business and what that business is about.
Mosaic Monarch is a mobile art and enrichment. Sorry, is a mobile therapeutic art and enrichment program.
Hmm.
So we provide art classes and craft classes to individuals. Anybody can view. Sorry, anybody can.
Is this bothering you? I'll take this down.
Sorry, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah. Anybody
Okay.
can receive these services, but they're primarily for individuals who don't typically have access to creative, have creative outlets. So, like for children, for seniors, and for individuals with disabilities, we
Mhm,
try to make what our goal is to make art and creativity accessible to them. So we travel to the different facilities.
mhm,
It's a niche that that is not really very saturated because not a lot of people travel to the facility. So, like if a facility might have people with wheelchairs, then they have to round up the people so that they can go enjoy a creative activity. Whereas with Mosaic Monarch, we bring the activities to the facility so that
Mhm.
we can make it just accessible to everybody. So that's what we do. That's our goal, is to make art and creativity accessible, and that's what we're doing. That's what we do. Thank you.
It's beautiful, yes. And I know this is relatively new, but it's something that the community really enjoys. One of the things that had some challenges with the part where we were donating, because I was trying to donate to you the other day, and there were some problems with the donation
I'm
part.
gonna yes. So the thing is, I am building this business. I have built it from the ground up,
Mhm,
solely, figuring everything out.
mhm,
So I'm still in the process of figuring some things out. There are some kinks that I'm still trying to work out.
mhm.
Namely, one of those being like the donation. How can I what do I need to click to get it, to get the donations part to work? But I'm going to get that figured out by this weekend for sure.
That's on the Mosaic Monarch, yeah.
For
Okay.
Mosaic Monarch on the website on mosaicmonarch.com. But I do implore everybody to take a look at this and to donate. Donating isn't really something that I would usually ask for, but this isn't for me. This is for our communities. This is for the people who don't have access to creative outlets. And I want to be able to. I've also because I stand so firmly with this mission, and I have so much passion behind it. I want to be able to offer low cost services and sessions, and free services and sessions. And so I also started a nonprofit organization.
Mm,
It's called Mosaic Monarch Foundation. I'm in the build in I'm in the process of building that up. I did I have applied, so my application is pending. Is pending approval. But I really want to, in the name of my father, because this is something that he instilled in me, and I want to give back. This is my contribution to society, and
mm.
I want to show up for my community and for the people who often get left behind and looked and overlooked.
People
So
with disabilities, yes?
yes, individuals with disabilities, elderly people,
Mhm,
individuals, and children,
mhm.
especially children from disadvantaged communities.
Wow. And a lot of disadvantaged communities are not just minorities, but rural communities are also considered underrepresented in certain fields or overlooked.
Hmm. Hmm.
Children that come from rural areas or mobile communities, they get overlooked. And I appreciate the fact that you care about all communities. And I think some of that comes from dad, yes, and your grandma, his mom,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
also your debate community,
Hmm. Yeah.
because your debate community really was they were different, unique, because they had people from all over the world, different communities coming together, debating both sides of, I don't know, political opinions, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I did. I have a piece that I'm doing a collaboration with one of the debaters that I know actually.
Nice.
Now I have a piece that I'm making for him. I'm unable to release it to him right now because um, I'm having some financially. I'm going to need to I'm going to need the money to complete the piece. And yes, that is it. It's a rug. It's a rug, but that's the underside of the rug, and it is a guy that a lot of people know. His name is George Lee. His name Conscious Lee, and and I
Interesting.
have I have this piece of him that I'm completing, and I have every intention to give it to him. At the moment, I'm tied up with some things, so I'm unable to release it. But when it gets released, we are going to. as long as it's still okay with him, we're going to go on with our collaboration. But this piece is a piece called A Piece of Consciously, and he agreed to allow me to use him to create Jesus in his likeness. And so
Mm,
this piece is called The Lamb of God.
the
And
Lamb.
in it, obviously, there's Jesus, him, the representation of Jesus and the Lamb. And I specifically chose this person because I I don't know. I enjoy hearing him speak. We don't
Mm,
always see eye to eye on certain topics, but I admire that. I admire
mhm,
to being able to approach a conversation from different angles, and but we have shared goals, and that's for the liberation of all people. And so
mhm.
that's why I chose to work with this person in particular. And yeah, so but I have this piece. I have some other pieces that I'm currently working on, some other projects, and I want to do more. I want to. I really want to. I really want for art to be who I am. You know how I express myself, and to make a whole entire career and lifestyle from it. Yes,
Can you bring in? Do you have the Lamb of God in your room? The rug?
I have it. I have it nearby. I do.
Can you?
It's not now. It's not packaged properly because, like I said, I do have to finish it,
Mhm,
and I'm working on gathering the materials and being able to do everything financially to be able to finish
mhm.
this piece and deliver it. So, but I will just give me one moment.
Give you 1 minute. So, family, if you're enjoying this conversation with Miss Lattimore, who is an entrepreneur, an artist, a philosopher, psychologist, and an educator, and you'd like to donate to her work, you can kindly donate to DeSarah Lattimore's Cash App at $DEJKL. That's a Cash App, $DEJKL. Okay, show us the art piece, daughter. I know
Sure.
you're my daughter, and I know I'm biased, but this is beautiful. Please
Thank
show
you.
us.
Thank you. That's the piece. It's
Now, what
still,
is it made of? Go
yeah.
ahead.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. Tell us what it's made of, because it looks kind of like painting, but it's not. What is it?
It's not a pain. Okay, let me make it
Okay,
closer.
I'm gonna put you on by yourself, so I'm still in the background, but I want them to see it closely. Hold on. My bad, family. Let me put her back on the stage, and I'm gonna remove myself.
Yeah, so this is actually it's not a painting. It's fabric. It's what is this? This is yarn. And some of this process that I used, I did needle punching. And this is my first rug that I've made ever. And it's not a rug, it's more of a tapestry because it's not in my mind, it's too good to be stepped on. So it's intended to be hung on a wall. So yeah, we've got George Lee and his awesome hair. He's an awesome guy. We've turned him into Jesus. We've got the Unk because, George Lee has some spirituality about himself that I've noticed. And so I just kind of wanted to add some things that might have been personal for him or to him. And also we have the classic halo for Jesus. We have the lamb. We have some symbolism in the color scheme, namely the red, the crucifixion of Christ type of thing. Now this whole entire picture is intended. It's intended to be flipped around because this is the underside of the rug, and what happens is I flip it over and I do some shaving on it. But I don't know. I like the detail on this side so much that I don't know if I'm going to actually flip it. So this star was supposed to be an Eastern star, so it's supposed to be over there, and once it's flipped, it would be, but just for the sake of symbolism. But I don't know, it might just have to be a Western star. But that's that's really, I guess, all that I have to say about that. Thank you, Miss Leslie. Thank you. I don't know where my mom went, but so I guess I'll talk to y'all.
Oh,
So
yes, here I am.
okay.
I said that was all yarn, yes?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Can you show the back of it, the other side of it?
Yes, but it's not like shaved all the way. Well, it's
Okay.
like I haven't really shaved it.
Okay, show us.
Okay. Okay, so I've shaved. Oh, I have shaved like this here. So I have to go and do detail. And I haven't shaved this guy, the lamb. So he still has some little pieces of yarn sticking out of him, and he doesn't look very well kempt at all. But after the shaving portion of it, then it will have more of a layered effect, and it'll be I don't know, it'll have more of a complete look.
What's the
But
red?
like I said, I don't know, I just love the other side so much. I love the detail
Yeah.
of the weaving of the patterns.
The red, what does the red represent on his shoulders?
So because I had a limited space to
Mhm.
work with, it's kind of like the piercing of the side.
Mm.
Just the red being on the sides of him,
Mhm, mhm,
and so obviously any interpretation can be made
mhm,
from it. So, but this is my interpretation also. But there's so many interpretations that I have of it that
mhm,
there's not just one perspective. Also, like just thinking of like just I don't know, like authority
mm.
um, just eye-catching colors, but mostly that the symbolism surrounding that was being pierced in the side, or the blood of
Mhm,
Jesus. Yeah.
mhm. And can people order from you art pieces if they were interested in something like that?
Yes, I can do custom orders, and I'm actually going to be doing a series.
Mhm.
Um, this is something that is kind of niche. I want to do tarot cards,
Mm.
and to kind of make big pictures with tarot cards. So if you wanted that, you could have that, or if you wanted something customized, then yes, you could contact me. You could email me at DeSarahLattimore@mosaicmonarch.com.
Okay, I need to write that down.
Mhm.
Let me put that in the comment section. DeSarah Lattimore, DSarahLattimore at
Mosaic
Mosaic,
Monarch. Mhm.
MO. Can you spell it? Mhm.
Mosaic, Mosaic
Okay.
Monarch, Monarch, Monarch,
Dot
mosaicmonarch.com.
com.
Mhm.
To Sarah Lattimore at mosaicmonarch.com in order to
Yes.
order a customized. How you say it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but do note that there's no apostrophe in my email, the name of my email.
Okay. So let's look at some of your other work. I don't want to keep you too long. They're saying great work.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Snooky Bay.
Snooky Bay. And who is this? Blair Warner says, you are so beautiful. And I'm
Thank
in
you.
awe of your work, your picture.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
The Adept Moore says, dope art. Prayer rugs would be cool as well.
Prayer rugs. Thank you. Thank you. And I was thinking also of doing some like geometric what do they call it? Like sacred geometry,
Mm,
like the tree of life, and the
mhm,
flower of life, I mean, and just different concepts that I have that I'm exploring. So yeah, keep giving me ideas, y'all, because I want to do it all. I really want, this is going to be my life, y'all. I want y'all to be a part of it too.
yeah.
This is a movement, and
Mm,
I want everybody to be able to have a creative outlet. And
mm,
please support this mission, because this mission is bigger than me. This mission is
mm,
community wide, nationwide,
mm.
worldwide. This is something that we need, and something that can help bring us together. So please support this mission. Thank you.
Leslie says, gratitude for sharing your experiences. I am thrilled time says, nice. Leslie said, wow, beautiful. Michael said, nice work.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Faith Ministry said, beautiful. Thanks for sharing. Multi-talented, Akim says. Let's see. Absolutely beautiful. Great talent. That's Tracy. Let's see. What else? I just want to give shout out to the people that are saying they enjoy this. Who else?
Yes.
Cora Denson says
Yes.
beautiful. Great work, Snooky. We acknowledge Snooky. Blair says you're also beautiful.
Thank
You
you.
all are amazing. Thank you. You go with it. And speaking of
Thank you.
prayer rugs, Amin's father is Muslim,
Hmm.
and I'm sure that his community might like some kind of work as well. Yeah,
Potentially so. Yes.
potentially. Yeah. Um, okay, now I want to show another piece of your artwork that I would like for you to share with the family. Let them know what this is here. Because you used to also draw designs for people who wanted tattoos. I remember you did that.
Oh yeah, I did that. That was a tattoo I did of, you can't really see the bottom, but
Let me see.
it's a vertical
Oh,
yeah, it's a vertical panoramic tattoo. So it's like,
mm,
um instead of, usually panoramics are like horizontal, but I
mm-hmm,
did it up and down.
mm,
And yeah, I have a friend, actually my son's godfather, who he loves Kingdom Hearts, and he told me a concept that he wanted, and he was like, "Hey, can
mm,
you sketch this out so I can give it to my my tattoo artist?"
mm.
And he did hire me for that service. He paid me, and I completed that for him, and that's the result. That was the result.
Did he put it on? Did he get it, that
He
tattoo?
did. He does. He has it tatted on his body, on his back, I think.
And he's a medical physician, but he sure
Yeah.
has a tattoo.
Oh, he's a cool guy. He's a cool
Yeah.
guy. That is something I did of just a young man that I know, awesome young man. Uh, for no particular reason. I just thought it was a great picture. I thought he looked great in the photo. So
Mm,
yeah, I loved the way, I don't know, I loved his eyes in the picture. I think that was it. And the
mm,
eyes and the combo of that and his jacket. I love
mm,
that. So that is an oil painting,
mm.
right there, of a portrait of a
Tell us
friend.
about this. The colors are so vivid and beautiful. What made you come up with this color scheme in the background?
You know what? I couldn't even tell you. I did this so many years ago,
Mm,
but I don't know. I think the eyes were just kind of giving cool and digital, and
mm.
so that's probably where I went with it, or why I went that route.
Very beautiful. And then there was a time period of your life where you were actually doing decorating shoes. You remember that?
Yes,
Let me see if
yes.
I can find that picture. Tell us about this here.
That is, so I took a pair of Jordans,
Hmm.
um, and university, yeah, university gold mid top perforated ones, and I took the paint off of it,
Mm.
and there's a process to do that, and then I reapplied paint, and I hand painted the kente pattern on
Oh.
the shoe, and that got a lot of traction, a lot of orders. I actually had
Mhm.
to stop taking orders at one point because it was so much. It was so much love that I was receiving, that it was a bit challenging for me to scale at the time. That's when I
Mhm.
was raising my younger brothers and my son.
Mm.
But yeah, that was a fun time. That was a fun experience completing that project.
And so people would buy the shoe, is that correct? How that
In
would
this in this scenario, either I would buy the shoe or they would buy it and send it to me. And so if I
Mhm.
bought the shoe, then they would just pay a convenience fee for that,
Mhm.
and as well as you providing the funds for the shoe. And
Mhm.
but that was easier sometimes, just for me to go ahead and buy the shoe for a lot of people. So that's what I did. And yeah, and I would take a day or two or a few days completing the project, and I would ship it off to them. Yes.
And before we go on, I want to say thank you, family, for those of you all who have donated to DeSara's passion and her vision to take art to the world. To
Yeah.
any of you who want to order, you can reach out to her at, what's the email again?
DeSara Lattimore at mosaicmonarch.com.
Okay. So not only to the Soul family, but also to people with disabilities. That's what Mosaic Monarch is about. So thank you for contributing to her. For those of you who have already contributed to her, and those of you who would like to, she is a single mom, and so it's a challenge for her to create this business, work this business, take care of her son. She's raising a genius, teach, and work in her community, doing volunteer work as well. So we appreciate you sending anything that you feel moved to do at her Cash App at $DEJKL. That's D as in DeSara, E as in Elaine, J as in Janie, K as in King or K, and L as in Lattimore. $DEJKL. Thank you so much. Oh, who is this? Snooky Bay said, I definitely will support.
Thank you, Snooky Bay. Thank you so much. We need all the support we can get. Love this. Love the support. Love the love. That's how we need to show up for each other so that we can all show up for our community.
And Leslie says, you are talented. The pictures are so lifelike.
Thank you. Thank you.
All I can say is, wow. Tell me about this picture, because I think you might have done this one in college. You didn't send this to me, but this is one of my favorites. This is somebody that you all went to school with, and she might have been your personal friend. Let me see if I can find. Oh my God, but she was a phenomenal lady. She is a phenomenal. Who is this?
Rachel Noreen. Hopefully she is okay with me just name dropping her. Awesome, awesome woman. Oh yeah, great friend. I did do that in college. I believe, yeah, I did that in college. Yes, great friend, great person. It was great. It was fun. It was fun drawing that picture. Yeah.
She was one of the only ones back then that had natural hair, and she would wear these wild styles, but they were so fitting of her artistic personality.
Yes.
And what is this? Is this pencil paint? What is it?
No, that is, so I took I used white, like pastel, I believe, and on a black paper. So I think it was just like a black construction paper or something like that. And I got some white pastel and just started just drawing the negative spaces. So I had to do the opposite of what I would normally do. So since usually you color your shading in things darker. But since the paper was already black, I only went to shade in the white space, some white into it. And we call white in pictures, we call white the negative space. So instead of focusing on creating and shading in positive space, I did the opposite, which was a very interesting process of filling in the negative space, the white. Yes.
Beautiful. And at some point, you had a picture of Allen Iverson. I wish I could find that picture.
Yeah, I have no idea where that is.
So it might be at Dad's.
Okay.
It might be, or somewhere like in storage, since Dad transitioned, they cleaned out his house. And this is one picture you told me that I'm going to bring up now. You said, Mom, it's not finished, but I love your work. I'm your mom, so that might be why. But do you remember doing this picture right here?
Oh, yes. I don't remember too much about it. I mean, I do remember doing that in college.
Okay.
That was also with pastel. I had these pastel crayons or something, and yes, a young man. He was like, "Oh, you do? I love your art," and he asked me to do something, and I had the time and energy, and I did it, and I think it turned out really nice, and I think he appreciated it too.
Now, tell me about the football. Was he a football player?
Yes, a football player. Honestly, I don't remember his name.
Okay.
But he was a nice guy. And we took some classes together, and he saw my work and asked me to commission a piece for him, and I did.
Somebody says she can go for your biological daughter. I don't know if you're talking about the painting that we show or DeSara, but DeSara Lattimore is my biological daughter, in fact.
Yes.
She is indeed very talented.
Thank you.
They will support you. Any questions, family, about DeSara's art, her business that she takes to people with disabilities or children or people from disadvantaged communities? Any questions about what she said as a psychologist, an educator, how we should invest in our children? She'll take time for a few minutes to answer your questions, and then we'll wrap it up for tonight because some of you may have things to do this Friday evening. Her work really needs to be displayed and monetized. Just beautiful. Sister Sheila says, hey, Sheila. Sheila's a member of our private group as well. Thank you, Sister Sheila.
Thank you. Thank you.
Leslie said this is great. Any questions, family, you have on how we can create geniuses or how we're supposed to nurture star seeds or how we can invest in our children? Because DeSara is a psychologist and an educator. This is what she does for a living. She went to college to be an educator and a psychologist, so she will gladly take your questions. One of the things that she said I think is very important is that they're formidable years. Some experts say are, it's between 3 and 5. Others say 3 to 7. But she said, in her opinion, all that's important, but 0 to 3, from the womb to 3, you should start as early as possible, even in the womb. I remember you didn't allow them to cut off his umbilical cord right away.
No, I did wait a while, and my partner at the time, Shahan, cut the umbilical cord after a minute.
Mm. Mm-hmm. And what made you decide? Thank you so much for being a new member, Claxon. We appreciate you. God bless you. Heaven smile on you. What made you decide to wait to cut the umbilical cord?
Excuse me. I had just seen some studies about it. Sorry,
you're fine.
A little stuffy, but I had seen some studies about it and learned that some about a bond. Honestly, I don't know now the answers, but I know that it has significance in bonding with your child.
Something that I learned is that the information from the mother and from the ancestors are passed through the umbilical cord. Mm-hmm. And memories from the child's past life are in the umbilical cord. And this is why the doctors, they, unbeknownst to them, are told to cut the umbilical cord as soon as the child comes. When you cut that cord as soon as the child comes, the child doesn't remember any past lives. They don't remember the mission that they came for. They don't remember anything that they decided to do. So typically that's what they cut it off right away.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The nutrients, the memories, all are in the umbilical cord. And you were very intentional about the placenta. You really didn't want them to do away with the placenta. You were just so intentional about so many things as it related to your son.
I need to get some water.
Okay, go ahead. We've been talking.
Sorry.
Let's see. Kim says, what we would like to see and hear more from DeSara Lattimore in future podcasts. Thank you. Leslie says, did you hear that, DeSara? Kim says,
I'm over here losing my head over here.
I'm sorry, honey.
No, it's okay. I had a cough. Go ahead.
And we'll get off very soon because we've been talking for 2.5 hours. Okay. Give your throat a rest. Kim says, would like to see and hear more from Ms. Lattimore in future podcasts.
Okay.
And she might have started a YouTube channel. She doesn't know about that. But we will bring her on future podcasts. Your children are so lucky to have you. Thank you, Leslie. It really was a community effort. It was me. It was her dad. It was her grandma. Was from her dad's mother. She was a phenomenal woman. People would come into the city and who was it? The Red Cross and other nonprofit organizations would say there's a woman down the street that takes in the homeless. That was her mother, her grandmother. She was a pastor and she took care of the homeless. That was her mission in life. So it was her father, it was me, it was her grandma, her aunts who started the school, her uncles. Um, it was a community thing. It really was. Great aunts, great uncles. Dr. Kia, I just tuned in and I didn't get to come in at the beginning, so that's the reason I said that. Oh, Proverbs. Okay, thank you. I would like to create medulla centers for this purpose. Medulla. Okay. Another thing you did with the baby is you made sure you put him on your chest. What was important for in bare chest? Why did you do that? What was that about?
Um, I think they call it kangaroo care. Skin to skin contact,
Mm,
and emotional. And human contact can
mm,
just form and build an emotional bond.
mm.
And so
Sorry
they
for that.
even they even sometimes do that with fathers, just so that the
Mhm,
baby can form a connection with the father. So they'll have a father take their shirt off and bring the child close to their chest, and I
mhm,
think it's a beautiful thing for the baby to feel comfortable, and to feel like they have a safe place that's reminiscent of the womb, because they can hear your heartbeat.
mhm. Another thing I love, you mentioned your partner earlier, is that you made sure your partner was very involved in your child's life and is still involved.
Yeah.
And Amin's father. So your Amin has so much love and support.
Mhm.
Yes. Why is that sense of community? Why was that important? You didn't have any dissension, you wanted everybody to be united. Tell us about that.
Um,
Whatever you
I
want
pref-
to share.
I prefer peace. I prefer peace always,
Mhm,
and whatever is in the best interest of my
mhm,
child.
mhm,
Um, this was a person that I was with when I had my child. We
mhm,
chose to create
mhm,
our child,
mhm,
my child, and so, but yes, this woman was very very active in his life,
mhm,
and I really and still is, and I really
mhm,
appreciate her.
mhm.
Why? What was the question?
Why was it important for you to have everybody involved in community and raising Amin?
Oh, well, it was important to me at the time because I needed help out. It was a lot. It was a lot. I lost a lot of weight
Mhm,
after he breastfed for a year.
mhm,
I lost a lot of energy trying to
mhm,
create him. I needed help. And
mhm,
so there are a lot of selfish reasons around
mhm,
that,
mhm,
the answer to that, but
mhm,
also for him, for his sake, for him to
mhm,
have different experiences and learn different things from different people. I
mhm,
can't teach him everything, and I know that. I know that I don't. My goal is not to teach him how to be a man. My goal is to teach him how to be a great human being, and
Wow. Go ahead.
yes, and so his father teaches him the things that he needs to know about
Mhm,
being a man, and I think it's important. Even though his father and I are not in a relationship together with one another,
mhm,
we still we still are both present and active,
mhm,
for the most part. But
mhm,
he's a great man, and that's
mhm,
what I
mhm.
really appreciate, is that his father is a great man. He
Absolutely.
and he Amin takes after him in a lot of ways, and
Mhm,
namely his temperament, that he's so calm and gentle. So
mhm.
I value that.
Yes. Any final words as we wrap up our discussion, DeSara, on anything, anything, just
Um, I would just say, just be a parent on purpose. If you choose to
Mhm,
be a parent, then parent on purpose. Be intentional about your decisions, about how you bring up your children, about who you have them around, what you put inside of your children, what you put inside of their mind, inside of their stomachs, the food. But be intentional, be patient with yourself because it's not easy.
Mhm. Mhm.
And for some people it is a breeze. For me, it's not. It's not
Mhm.
easy, but every day I show up and I do the best that I possibly can.
Mhm.
So I would just say be intentional, be patient with yourself, give yourself some grace, um, be gentle, be kind to everyone,
Mhm.
share goodness, share joy,
Mhm.
to those who don't have it, to those who are lacking it, to those who don't have access to it. Just try to be good and contribute positivity to our society because we need it. We need it now
Mhm.
more than ever. And that's the only message that I really have is to just to be kind and to be good.
And that's what your father was known for, being kind. Everybody that speaks of him says that he was a very kind man. And
Mhm.
so, and I'm grateful that he left that as part of his legacy for his children and his family.
Yes, me too.
Here's a final question. I think this is probably the final question. The Adept Moore asks, any ideas of why C-sections and being induced is becoming more prevalent for women?
C sections are they cost more. They cost more
Mm,
money. They get paid more for that.
mm,
And then
wow.
they can limit the amount of children that you have through that. Because when you have a C-section, they'll tell you you can only have a certain amount more children. And because
Mm,
once you have one C-section, then you have to keep getting C-sections. You can't go from a C-section to a vaginal birth, or at least that's extremely rare. They
mhm,
don't recommend it. So once you get a C-section, you always get a C-section. C-sections cost more than natural births,
mhm,
and there's only so many C-sections one woman can have. So it also has something. This is all my opinion, but
mhm,
I would assume that it has a lot to do with population
mhm.
control and profit.
What about inducing labors? Why is that becoming prevalent?
Um, Honestly, I think I think that would have something to do with scheduling, with
Mhm.
doctors. Wanting to make sure that they're on schedule. Like, if listen, that baby got to come because I got stuff to do. You don't. They'll say like that it's you don't want the baby to be in the womb for too long. I don't
Mhm.
know. I don't know all of the science behind that, so I can't give like too many opinions on it. But
Mhm.
I think it has to do. That would probably have to do with like scheduling,
Mhm.
and there's probably I don't know. I've got some conspiracy theories that rubbed off on me. I don't I didn't I didn't fall too far from the tree. So I would assume that there's some nefarious
Mhm.
activities going on or reasons behind that, but I don't know the answers to that.
And so, where can people find your work?
Um, can they find my work, like my
So, for
portfolio?
example, say it again. Yeah, for example, your the website. What is that website again? I'll bring it
M-
up.
MosaicMonarch.com.
Okay.
Also on TikTok is mosaic.monarch.
Mm.
And I would also implore you to add me on there because I'm about to it's a new a new page is being rebranded. So I'm starting fresh, and I'm just going to be it's just doing little art clips, just doing
Mhm.
anything that
Oh
can be
yeah,
associated with art.
you were supposed to send me that one you did that I loved on TikTok.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I'm sorry.
Do you feel like sending? Or are you good? You want to send?
Uh, send it.
Okay, what are you at TikTok again? Mosaic.
Mosaic.monarch.
So that is okay. I'll spell it. MOSAIC dot
Mhm.
monarch. MONARCH. I'm gonna
Correct.
bring it up for the Soul family. This is her. So mosaicmonarch.com is her website where she actually takes art to communities and people with disabilities, people that come from certain Uh, is it appropriate to say disadvantaged communities, or what's the right way to say that?
I
Or is
think
that okay?
that's appropriate. That's appropriate. I
Okay.
think one thing that I would say, like, one buzzword or trigger word, or that we want to be mindful of, is just calling people disabled, or calling
Mhm.
them the disability that is they're associated with or that they have.
Mm. Okay.
And just make sure you remember that all these are people first. These are
Mm.
people first,
Mhm.
and they are not the disability. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? They
Mhm.
have a disability, but
Mhm.
we're all individuals, and we're all people who just want to be, be
Mhm.
treated fairly. And
Mhm.
so that would be the thing that I would, like, the political correctness of it, that I would
Mhm.
encourage people to take into consideration, is just not to
Mhm.
call people by their disability, to call them
Mhm.
by their name, or refer to them as an
Mhm.
individual first,
Mhm.
and let the disability be something that they have.
Mm.
So individuals with disabilities, as opposed to disabled people.
Mm. Okay. And if people want to order your work, they go to the Sarah Lattimore at mosaicmonarch.com.
Right. So right now I don't have like a my portfolio isn't available to the public.
Mm-hmm.
However, when I'm gonna be creating more to put into a public portfolio.
Okay.
However, on my webpage, you can see some client outcomes, or some of my work on there, in the gallery, and I'm going to upload some more of those things. So the webpage is a new thing. So I'm just this is a startup business, so I'm getting this off of the ground. So there are some things that I still have to tweak. Like I said, I'm doing this from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
Single-handedly. So
Mm.
there are some things that I'm figuring out. Fortunately, with my MBA degree, I have
Mhm.
some knowledge of what I need to do.
Mhm.
Um, but there's still some things that I'm learning along the way.
So, but you will take some orders.
I will
Yes.
take orders, yes, custom orders. If
Mhm.
you send me an email, we can communicate about what you want, about the price range that you can work within, because I can do anything. I can do
Okay.
something within any price
Okay.
range. I'm sorry?
Okay. No, no, I had brought up your TikTok, so it was. I'm sorry, it was playing at the same time.
Oh, but that's
So
it.
they can order your art. Let me put that in the back here at the Sarah Lattimore at mosaicmonarch.com. You can find her website at mosaicmonarch.com. I mean, your job, your business that you create.
Yes. Yes, yes, and you can email me at thesarahlattimore@mosaicmonarch.com if you want, a custom if you're looking for a custom piece,
Mhm.
and, I can do that. I can do that for you.
Can you design something? Like, do you do specialty work, like design something according to somebody's zodiac, or according to certain things like that, their birth order, birth chart, or something? I don't know, but I know some people are specific. They can do specific artwork like that.
Right. I'm just a creator, so I can probably design some of anything. I would just
Mm,
need to know what what the vision is,
mhm.
and then we'll collaborate on how to bring that vision into fruition.
And so, how can people support your work if they want to support you as a creator or as an entrepreneur? Because I know
Um,
that. Go ahead.
I was going to say, definitely donate, if you can. Right now, it's this will be to my personal Cash App, because I am, like I said, I'm in the process of getting my 501(c)(3) um, up and running and everything. But in the future, I'm going to have that up to where all donations will be tax exempt, and
Mhm.
but so for now, you can donate, and or if you see me on social media, find me on social media on TikTok. I'm currently on TikTok. I'm in the process of setting up a Facebook page. Everything's taking time. but I do have a team that I'm building, and I have some support so that we can get this off the ground.
Mhm.
Thank you for your support, because I
You're
know that you're going to support me, because you're supporting me right now. So you are supporting me. So I appreciate all of this support and all
welcome.
future support. Thank you so much.
So you can either order from her to do an art piece for you to support her. You can just follow her on her social media, her TikTok, and we'll make sure all these links are in the description section. Make sure I have them to Sarah later on
Mhm.
tonight. And you
Yes.
can also donate to her Cash App at $ DEJK Lattimore. D as in dynamite.
D as in divine, E as in elegant, J as in just, K as in kind, and L as in Lattimore.
I love it. Cash App $DEJKL. And
Yes.
finally, let me bring up the last thing that you sent me that you worked on. I think it's a TikTok video, right? Let me see if
Mhm.
it's going to come up.
And it's really random. I don't know why. I
Mm,
just still chose the first thing and decided to
mm.
play around
Oh,
with it.
hold on 1 minute. It stopped. Wait a minute. Wait. Okay.
Would
It
you like
it
to resend it?
I have it, but it won't. Let me see. It keeps starting before I'm ready for it to start. Hold on, family. Thank you for your patience, family, and thank you for your support of my daughter, DeSarah Lattimore, and for the Soul family being here communicating with one another in the chat. This is on DeSarah's TikTok. Let's see. Let me see. Hold on.
Murder, 2 counts, aggravated battery, 2 counts, and cruelty to child in the first degree. Y'all can have a seat. On count 1, it says, we, the jury, find the defendant not guilty. On counts 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, the verdict reads, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of
I'm gonna bring it
felony
up
murder,
and I'll do it
2
again.
counts, aggravated battery, 2 counts, and cruelty to child in the first degree. Y'all can have a seat. On count 1, it says, we, the jury, find the defendant not guilty. On counts 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, the verdict reads, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of felony murder, 2 counts, aggravated battery, 2 counts, and cruelty to child in the first degree.
Yes. So I'm just with
Yes,
this
tell us
just
about
taking
this.
Now,
Go ahead. I'm
just
sorry.
I'm just taking viral clips and sketching them
Hmm.
and just doing a little low budget editing with it.
That's
Yeah.
so creative. I love it, actually.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. So we've had a good time in our discussion, and I just want to let you know that as your mother, I am very proud of you
Thank you,
and
Mom.
all you've done. You're welcome to raise a beautiful human being, a star seed, a light. He tells me about some of the psychic abilities. Like he told me about teleporting. I remember when he teleported. He told me. You remember that? He teleported
I
from
do
one room.
remember that, and I can't say it didn't happen because I was there, and so, but it's hard for me to say that it did happen. So I'm like,
Mhm. He said it happened. He told me
I
I was
was
here
there.
and I
I
teleported
remember.
to. Hmm. Hmm. And sometimes when he and his cousin Mia are very close, when she speaks, he'll finish her sentence, or when I'm thinking things, he'll say it. And I was talking to him about today about his psychic abilities. He said, "Yes, that's why I can finish sentences." He's just amazing, based on the way that you were so intentional in raising him, starting from the womb. Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And
We're
I am
working
very.
on his modesty.
Say it again.
Working on his modesty.
He just knows who he is. And one of the
Yeah.
things he told me, like, he has a great mission, and I won't share it because that's for him to share. But the mission that he intends to do for people, particularly people that have been struggling through war, it's amazing. And geopolitical unrest, uh, is phenomenal. How he says he's come to help them. But that's for him to tell, and his love for precious metals that his grandma put in him. I love that. But everything that you've done with raising him, what you've done in your business, just being true to who you are, no matter what, even if people don't understand who you are or what you're doing or why you do it, you stay true to who you are. And that's something to be very admired.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, Soul Tribe, we appreciate you. We love you so much. Sarah, you gave your final words. Anything else you'd like to say?
I would just like to say thank you so much for having me on your platform, and
You're
thank you for
welcome.
everything you've done for me. And I love
You're
you
welcome.
so much.
I love you too. Thank you. Family, thank you for watching the show. Thank you for all of the help that you've given to the Soul Tribe. If you are interested in joining our private membership group, we do talk about, what do we talk about? We talk about investments. We talk about how to take things off of your credit report. We answer questions that we might have. I taught the Soul Tribe how to create their own mission statement, their own vision statement for themselves and their family members. And we just do a lot of bonding off online with our, with the membership group, but out of the public eye of everyone else. So if you're interested in joining my private membership group, family, I'm going to put the link here in the description and in the comment section that is here, or you can go to any video on my YouTube page, and my YouTube handle is at Dr. Kia Pruitt Official. But just go to any of my videos or on my main page or even this video and click the join button and follow the prompts, and you'll be a part of our private group. We typically meet on Saturdays at 10 o'clock a.m. and sometimes I'll come on as well later on. But I have lots of videos on gold, silver, different currencies to invest in, how to dispute things from your credit report, lots of things, family, that we don't talk about in front of everybody else. Also, I just want to tell you all, thank you for supporting Chief Mack, who does create private trusts so that you can protect your assets. If you're interested in a private trust, you can contact Chief Mack for consultation at unityinmotion45@yahoo.com. Also, and finally, thank you for supporting Dr. Kia Pruitt. So many of you all send me money. Let me just say money, or gifts, donations to my $ at $ Mama Kia 13, $ MAMAKIA 13. That's about it, family. If you want to contribute to DeSara's work one last time, you can contribute it to, and she says, thank you so very much, $ DEJKL. And we will bring her on the show to give us more updates on psychological aspects of children, rearing children, and what we need to do. Thank you for these beautiful comments. Beautiful daughter.
Thank you. Sorry.
Kim says, elegant ladies as well. We appreciate you, family. We love you so much. And I'm going to get on out of here with our outro, or our song that you all know one of our members, Brother Kenneth, wrote for me. So we're going to check on out of here. I am not going to end the live stream, but Sarah and I will go back in the background and you'll listen to the song that is, what do you call it? A theme song? Yeah. That was created just for me. That made me feel special. Okay. We're going out of here, family. Bye.
Dr. Kia Pruitt, shining wisdom's light, teaching Soul Tribe how to see through the night. Ancient scriptures and bloodlines she knows, spreading truth wherever she goes. Soul Tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter that hold us close, teaching paths to abundance and wealth, guiding others to free themselves. Soul Tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. From currencies to investments divine, she's helping her tribe to realign with wisdom, ancient and new, showing what we all can do. Soul Tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Soul Tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia lights the way to a new and brighter day. Mm.
Thank you so much, Soul Tribe, for supporting the Dr. Kia Pruitt Show. I love you so much. Again, we appreciate you taking the time out to be with us on a Friday evening. Go and enjoy your family. And if you're going out to have a good time, be safe, have a good time, and love each other. Share in the love and the laughter that you so much desire and deserve. You have heard from Dr. Kia Pruitt tonight and my daughter, DeSarah Lattimore, a psychologist, entrepreneur, and educator. I hope that we have said something to raise your vibrations and inspire you to create the most amazing, magnificent life that you desire and deserve. Good night, family. Go out and have a great evening. Peace. Oh, before I go, Amin wants to say good night. This is her son, her starseed, Amin Ra.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, bye.